Here we go. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis and Flounder 303. Let her rip Friday. Anything goes. It's your show. Great to have you aboard. Here's a phone number, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Having a great time this afternoon. I think the rain ended. We have a storm blowing through a while ago, but here we go. We got so much coming up. Yeah, play the music, baby. And then day two, I hate her and she hates you, but Friday I'm in love. Dun, 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 dun. We got news. We got Hunter Biden. We got sound of people talking about him. Finally, the media may be turning on President Potato Head. And the submarine, holy cow, people are talking about now. And all I can say is, Saturday! Hey, hi-oh! Hey, it's Friday. Let her rip. It's 3:04. Great to have you with us here today. The mechanical bangalore for laundry control. In fact, he's been, just in the last few minutes, we've had a couple of really, really interesting sound bites from the White House or from the podium about the Hunter Biden case and the bribery and president showers with daughter and so forth. And the scandal is, in fact, wait, if you just tuned in now and you haven't heard it, we'll play it for you in just a few minutes. We're kind of doing a quick turnaround thing here to get it recorded to play back for you. And it sounds as though the media is finally saying, now, wait a minute, we're not taking this anymore. It sounds like, we've had a couple of examples over the last few months where the media is starting to say, well, this really isn't right. You need to tell us more stuff. So we'll see. Anyway, that's coming up. We'll kind of set the stage here today. So we'll do a lot of stuff on the Hunter stuff. The submarine thing, holy cow. More and more people, and I feel a little guilty about Monday morning quarterbacking, but the fact of the matter is one person after another who knows about this kind of stuff saying they never should have gone down there.
Nope.
I mean, Pete just found a story just a minute ago from these people who were saying, they got their little steering device from a game store. I mean, and they looked at it and said, no, this doesn't look good. I mean, people were, in fact, they offered one guy a $100,000 discount. He said, no, I'm not going to go on that boat. Hey, we'll get to that. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff. It's really scary, frightening, and horrible about what happened to him, and there was no reason for it.
Nope.
Sorry, I don't mean to yell. Now, and by the way, Pete has told me today, before we started, I'm being kind of a grump. I'm being a little bit of a grouch.
No. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Well, I think it was mostly because of, Piedmont Hospital basically doesn't want to give me my medical records so I can go to the freaking Veterans Administration, who's been screwing me around now for 20 years. But that's a whole other issue.
There's been a problem with that?
No, nothing I can remember anyway. Anyway, so never mind that. Okay. Well, somebody set the stage. I'm sorry. So we got stuff in the sub and Hunter. Also, there's a UFC fighter who's weighing in on the potential cage fight between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. And by the way, both of them have taken self-defense and combat courses. I forgot, what we were calling
That's true, but only one of them can build his own death ray.
Right. You're going to see some of the zinc come out of his palm of his hand or something. It'll be like Indiana Jones when they're doing the guy's whipping. He says they shoots him with a gun. What the hell?
You know why he did that?
Yeah,
he had the flu, and he didn't want to do a fight scene with him.
Yeah. In fact, the director had no idea. He just did it on his own spontaneously, and they left it in because it wasn't. He said, "Well, I got tired and wanted to."
They got the biggest response in the audience than anything else in that movie.
Yeah. Also, a chef has posted a viral video on TikTok on how to tell if your local McDonald's is a good restaurant. And I think this is one of the nastiest, most vicious things that they think is, it's a good way to check something. It's none of your business. I mean, what are you doing? You're trying to... Anyway, we'll get to it. Also, Shane is here, and he has his obituary. We may actually get to chat with Shane today. Also, I'm being chastised for my love of aspartame. I put a little video on Facebook today and on Rumble. About my coffee and aspartame stuff. And in fact, speaking of that, again, we're just setting the stage here. It's already 3:07, almost 3:08. And So we'll talk about that. Also, the Georgia teacher fired for the reading book she gave to her class as an assignment, and to talk about Villa Rica Police Department's under fire. This was not a deliberate thing. Let's back off our police agencies. Villa Rica did not try to do something deliberately racist to make everybody upset. So, don't be stupid. So we'll get to that. Also, how a kiss can lead...
There'll be more details later.
More to come. Play it again. Play it again. Then Villa Rica, please. You talking about you?
Do you remember not only Jack Webb in the police in Dragnet with Bill Gannon, but also Jack Webb starred in the movie The D.I. about Paris Island.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. But that was, and he's about 5'4", very, very well respected producer and executive. And his style, as I was struggling, and the way they look back and forth, cut to a shot, just nodding their head. I mean, the old 50s TV shows were classics.
Just stand there, ramrod still,
and bob his head up and down, and it cut to the bobbing of his head.
Which, by the way, that movie Dragnet, Dan Aykroyd did that.
That was perfectly. A funny movie. That was and the kid from Hank, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That was a very funny movie. And
the Virgin Connie.
The Virgin Connie Swales.
Wait a minute, you didn't say virgin.
Not anymore.
The pagans.
Oh my God.
Oh, what a great
anyway, so we're still going. We haven't even said what we're doing today. Also, I know, this was rather bizarre this morning. The Rhino on the morning show, what did he do? Was actually giving pickup tips on where to meet the opposite sex. Now, as you know, I'm kind of trying to help Flounder with romance tips with his little Veronica.
That's still going on?
Anyway, and so I told a couple things. I would get little tips. Well, I have one. If we get to it, I'll have another one for today. In fact, we'll be talking at 4:00. We're going to have Amanda come in. I love Amanda. She works here, and she's a young lady, and she's Amanda. It's Amanda.
She just left.
She heard this song.
I can't wait another day.
Please stop it.
Amanda.
Please. Wait a minute.
We're going to say it like a man and take you understand, Amanda.
Take it like a man.
Anyway, and we'll have her in there. We'll talk about some dating stuff. There's now actual surveys and some social media stuff about things that women or men too get turned off on the first date or a date, and how come you wouldn't go on a second one? Just stuff, and having a little fun with it.
Chewing with your mouth full. Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them.
Or your mouth open.
Yeah.
Let me just put it that way.
And also a relationship. But I thought it was ironic that Rhino, who's married, was giving he was telling girls, if you want to meet a man, go to Home Depot or go in a workshop or something and meet a real man, can fix stuff for you. And he said, guys, if you want to meet a girl, you go to a nail salon or a beauty salon and you say, hi, I want to get something special for my mother because I love my mother so much and I love the way she looks and so pretty and dainty. So, and all the girls say, oh, it's so sweet that you love your mother. So the girls love you because you love your mother. So you can pick up a girl at the girl places, and the girls who want to have a real man go find to the guy places.
So you go loiter around at a nail salon.
Oh, I've done it.
You've wandered into nail salons.
No, but girl places, not a nail salon because that's pretty specific.
Locker rooms.
But no. But I mean, go into a girl's store, and you're looking for something for your sister or your mother or your whatever daughter thing on your age. Well, that could be possible.
Or a Bed Bath and Beyond.
A Bed Bath and Beyond,
which is actually a bad idea because they're going out of business.
They're out of here.
Well, in fact, I did that once when Jennifer was visiting. We went to Bed Bath and Beyond. Then maybe she needed an extra pill or something, whatever it was. We did Bed Bath and Beyond, and the girl who kind of helped, we said we're trying to find so and so, and the lady who kind of helped us was about 35 years old and a knockout. And so Jennifer hates when I do this, and so I started flirting with the girl. I said, you're pretty good looking for a girl, or so. And Jennifer, Dad, but that's good because then you know that you have a daughter who's got, she gets it and it's fun, stuff like that. It can happen. I'm just saying. Anyway, and tips for flounder with a little Miss Veronica. So that's
You
coming
used
up
your daughter like a minnow on a hook.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, if you never catch a fish if you don't throw the bait in the water. I'm just saying. If you don't go trolling, you're not going to get a bite.
Or dynamite.
Anyway, so we got that stuff. Plus, oh, geez, we got so many things. I don't know where to start. And Pete's Holy Crap at Sports. We'll have a Skynet update. We'll have Pete's tweets. And we got just a billion things, and it's all coming. It's 3:13 coming up. You're going to hear what the latest for the White House, still trying to say we don't want to talk about the bad news. It's all coming up next. 3:13 on Extra 106.3. Oh, boy. My ding-a-ling. Yes. Well, the guy responsible for my ding-a-ling was Dave Bartholomew. And on this day in 2019, American musician Dave Bartholomew died of heart failure at the age of 100. A lot of musicians did his songs, some of the greatest successes, especially back in the 50s and so forth. He wrote more than 40 hits, including Ain't That a Shame, I Hear You Knockin', Blue Monday, I'm Walkin', One Night, and My Ding-a-Ling.
Wow.
100 years old. Good for him. Wow. Anyway, let me do a quick birthday thing here. Let's see. Oh, Selma Blair is 51 today. She was Dr. Kate Wales on Anger Management, Netflix sci-fi thing.
Hellboy.
She revealed in 2018 she's been struggling with MS for a long time. Selma Blair, I saw a picture of her, a modern picture. She has very short, kind of hot blonde, white hair and a kind of little pixie cut kind of thing. Very cute looking. But who will ever forget that kiss with Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Never saw it. I know her for Hellboy. That's all I know her for.
You'd know her for something else if you saw the kiss with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Why were they kissing there?
Well, she was teaching him. I mean, you don't know that scene?
I'm sorry. Being a heterosexual male, no, I did not watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Now we got to change everything. Now, wait a minute. Now you're flowing. I can't believe anything you're saying right now. Hold on a second. Flounder, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it. There's a movie. I think it's where Buffy the Vampire... What's her name?
It's not a movie. It's a TV show.
No, God almighty. There was a movie where Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think, was acting like a real tramp.
No, you're way off. Thank you, Mike Engineering, for clarifying this. You're talking about Wild Things.
No, that's
Selma Blair. There was a threesome in that movie,
but it was Charlie Sheen's woman. What's her name? The Bond girl.
Amanda.
No, not Amanda. It's who's the one? Denise
Richards.
Denise Richards is a goddess, and the girl from A Party of Five, whose name was
Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
That's who you're thinking of.
No, there's a scene. Okay, would you please Google? I can't believe this. Google Selma Blair kissing another girl.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, there. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair kissed, and Sarah Michelle Gellar was teaching her how to kiss. And she said, first we'll do a little thing, a little teeny lip thing, and then she told her how to use her tongue. You don't remember that scene?
I never saw the damn show.
Oh, my God. I'm not going to sleep tonight just remembering it. Now,
you should watch Wild Things.
Oh, my God. Well, by the way, I promise we're going to get...
Shane just clarified. It's called Cruel Intentions.
That's what I'm saying. We're Cruel Intentions. Okay. Sarah Michelle Gellar was trying to have sex with the... See how many people they could bed.
Right, but we heard that as it was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so that's where the confusion
I didn't know her name. I can't remember her name. I'm at the name stage. They don't coming out anymore. And I will say, and again, this is a family show, and we have a whole bunch of new audience people who are not used to us talking in rather an adult manner and kind of, lackadaisical and a little weird. The fact of the matter is, I will admit to you, as I think most guys would probably admit, that two, pretty girls sweetly kissing each other is a very sexy thing. I'm sorry. It's a freaking turn on. I'm not going to change. It's not like I do anything about it. They have girlkiss.com, for God's sakes. It makes them probably $1 billion a week.
Move along.
All right, then.
All right, what do you got to
Anyway, all right, now, we're going to play those sound bites here in just a second. Also, the Titanic. Well, I got to get it right now. We have to come. Okay, here. Now, a quick thing before we start. Okay. I have in my hand, you can see this. Oh, we have cameras now here. I have in my hand a bag. We got this from our friend Denise, who tried to keep our podcast going single-handedly. And she said, and Flounder, this is important. Please share these with Flounder. Speaking as a female, you are right. A clean hanky is impressive when needed from Denise Smith. And she sent us a bunch of plain, beautiful, clean white handkerchiefs. So, Flounder and Pete, here are some clean white handkerchiefs for you. And then I kept a couple for myself as needed. No, they're brand new.
My grandfather used to carry handkerchiefs.
That's right.
So he's the only person I ever knew who did.
Well, the fact of the matter is, you should always have it's like, holding a door, getting up when a lady enters the room, stuff like that. And one of the things is always have a clean white handkerchief.
But then you're carrying a snot bank around in your pocket.
It's better than her doing it on your sleeve.
I don't know.
Oh, God, people are so... What, did I do something wrong when I walked in here? And she also sent us her favorite coloring pen. So we have now a selection of pens. Anyway,
that's nice.
Then that's so sweet.
Put over here in the pen file.
There you go. So thank you, Denise. That's very sweet. Okay, now, oh, God, we got so much going on here. Well, you're going to hear more about the submarine thing, which is getting more appalling by the minute. But first, okay, here's the quote. Hunter Biden on a WhatsApp was quoted as saying to his Chinese communist co-conspirator who's investing in Hunter's company. This is in 2017. I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. He was saying this to his buddy Zhao, the director of the Communist Chinese investment company. Hunter goes on, tell the director I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And see if I get a call or a text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman. I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction. That's a quote. Mm-hmm. Hunter Biden.
Threat.
About getting paid for the deal they made with the communist Chinese. The daddy's going to do something about it if you don't right now, and I mean tonight. Okay, here we go today. First comment. This dweeby little snot at the Kirby, John Kirby, I think it is. He's just a freaking liar. He's a smarmy little turd, and they've asked him about it first at the podium, and here's how that went. Hold on a second. We got it right here. Hold on. It's okay. Yeah, kiss my foot. I mean, what do you mean? Oh, I'm just not going to address it. Nothing
to see here.
Screw it.
Nothing to see here, folks.
It's Friday.
Moving.
Have a great weekend.
See ya.
Take it out with the trash. Late in the week, and of course, it won't get any coverage. Or if it gets coverage on Saturday, the newspapers are going to have this story tomorrow. It's going to be in the morning paper. Well, it won't be in our local. It won't be in our paper. But any paper that's going to cover it, it'll be on a Saturday, which is junk. Nobody reads the Saturday paper, they say. And that's why they do it on a Friday night. They do things that show up on Saturday. It's called taking out the trash.
You have much more confidence that this will continue Monday. I think all these reporters will get talked to over the weekend. And if it simmers down, don't be surprised. I hope it doesn't.
I don't think. I think they're...
They're all bought and paid. Their bosses are all bought and paid for. They will all get a talking to.
I know. Well, I'm hoping that's true too. Here's another cut now before I go too far. This is the Podium princess, Shirley Temple, the little curly locks, who weighs 8 pounds of makeup every day to get. I don't know how she gets through security. And they asked her the same thing, Brajin Tatin, about this business with Hunter and his daddy. Yeah, we're not gonna. No, you don't, you lion. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit. No, he hasn't. No, you didn't.
Oh, God. Steven.
Get a black mark.
Go on your permanent record.
Good job. Good job. Steven.
I can fix this, Steven.
Zip it, Steven. Zip it.
No.
I know nothing.
Hogan.
I know nothing.
No.
Nope. Zip it.
Okay.
Zip it.
Steven. Yeah, but
Zip.
Yeah, but
Zip it.
Yeah, but Yep. Oh,
It's Austin Powers. Zip it. Zip.
3:30, but I got so much more coming up with the Kipper, Pete, and Flounder and Shane on Extra 106.3. The Podium Princess, Shirley Temple. Oh, Lordy. Maybe there's things changing. Look out, it's the Allman Brothers. With a little bit of bad news and good news in a way earlier. 2010, this was the day Greg Allman got an operation going. I'm waiting for some singing to happen.
There will not be any
I've been singing for a while. 2010, Greg Allman was 62 years old. He had had a series of problems with his liver, chronic damage from hepatitis and so forth, I believe. So on this day in 2010, Greg Allman, at the age of 62, had a liver transplant at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. And his doctor said, this is the best way to go. And Allman said, I changed my ways years ago. This is 2010, changed my way. But we can't turn back time, and every day is a gift.
Yep.
And there we go. God knows that. A couple of quick birthdays. Frances McDormand is 66.
Oh, I think I'm going to barf.
Hey, Margie. How's your fricassee?
I don't know if I agree 100% with your police work there, Lou.
DLR, dealer. Golly, Marge. Oh, you're going fishing up to the lake?
We got to run it. We got to run it. He's fleeing the interview.
It's a Tan Sierra. It's a Tan Sierra.
He's fleeing the interview. God, she got 1,000.
Oh, there must be 1,000 lines from that movie. Oh, my Lord. Frances McDormand is 66, two-time Academy Award winner, Fargo in 97, and 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri in 2018, which that was about her being mad. I guess her family got killed, and she was mad at the cops not doing anything or something like that.
It's depressing. I don't know.
Also, The Mom in Almost Famous. That was a strange movie. I
like that movie.
I liked the ending of it.
It's a good movie.
And particularly, and I saw it when it came out 20 years ago, or more probably, 90s probably. Well, no, I didn't give the year here. Anyway, but I'd forgotten totally about it, and then I realized I liked the ending where, they sent to the house of the girl that it was. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Almost Famous. She apparently is still married to Joel Cohen.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for her.
That scene where she goes behind the house and sees the big Viking shoving Steve Buscemi in the wood chipper.
Oh, yeah. Taps her head with a Sheriff. Anyway, we got that going for us. And one quick thing here. Now, we're going to be talking about the submarine here, and we'll talk some more about the Biden situation, too, but the submarine business here in a second. But it was on this day, tragically and ironically, perhaps as a kind of a comparison. 1931 was the day. Daredevil explorers Wiley Post and his navigator Harold Gatty took off on their trip around the world. They were in a single-engine plane called the Winnie Mae. They left Roosevelt Field in New York and made it back on July 1st, a trip around the world in record time, 8 days, 15 hours, and 51 minutes.
He had one eye.
Wiley Post, 1931. Talk about daredevils.
Of course, later he killed himself and Will Rogers. In the
plane crash? Was that the plane crash? That's right. Wiley Post was flying the plane.
In fact, if you go to the musical, what's a musical that's all about this? Gosh, I saw it up on. No, that's not it. It's a musical, and the character Wiley Post is up in the balcony, and he yells throughout the whole play. He yells, "Let's go flying, Will!"
Oh, I don't know that one.
The Follies. Oh, God. Will Rogers Follies.
Will Rogers Follies.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. David Carradine did.
Never met a man I didn't like, except the Democrat or something. Yeah, a bunch of them.
By the way, speaking of Democrats, can I say 3 things about what we just played about the White House thing?
Yeah.
Number 1, Biden bringing his son to a White House dinner, I guess at the Indian Prime Minister or whatever.
Yeah.
The night that he basically does a plea deal on felonies and stuff like that and gets away scot-free.
Showing him off.
That's rubbing it in our face.
Exactly
he did it before. He took him overseas when Hunter got in trouble. Second thing, if this continues, the media frenzy about this continues on Monday, then it's come down from the DNC that Biden's on his way out. Yep. If it dies down, that means everybody got talked to told to simmer down. So it'll be interesting if it starts again on Monday. And by the way, this what do you call her? The
Podium Princess, Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. If this continues, she will be replaced because she can't handle this.
Well, I'm amazed she's lasted this long. I mean, she's clearly incompetent. And she can't. I mean,
all she does is read from a book.
She has the big book, and then when she can't handle something, she says, "Well, I'm not going to talk about it from this podium, or go to the special counsel's office."
Yeah, I refer you to whoever.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's your freaking job. It's not to say go to talk to somebody else. My God, he said, but I remember the days when Ron Ziegler was there, Nixon's press secretary. Remember the time Nixon shoved him into the doorway because he didn't like his.
I don't remember.
Oh, I do. Anyway, but again, I mean, you still have to attack the.
I was riding my bike around the neighborhood.
Oh, God, that's right. You weren't even born.
Collecting baseball cards.
Oh, my God, you weren't even born.
I was born.
You were 7, I forgot.
I literally was on my bike in Little Rock.
God.
I was on my bike in Little Rock. I remember stopping on a pile of newspapers been thrown in someone's yard. I looked down and it says Nixon resigns.
Wow.
I remember that. Barely.
So you definitely would not remember the event.
No.
When you were
not.
4.
Well, that's a good question. Is what as a child, what's the first big news story you remember? Mine was
that is a good question.
Mine was the space shuttle.
At the moon launch
Disaster?
for me.
Yeah, that was kind of the first
Challenger?
big news
Really?
story I remember.
The moon landing for me. Was
68?
69. That was July 69.
All right,
Yeah.
69. That's
You
right.
were there. You should know.
At 68, I was in a very bad place. 69, I was back home.
I was
and my
too.
wife and I, my starter wife and I, I was at Arizona State, and my starter wife and I went out in the parking lot and looked up at the moon.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. I mean, it was a touching moment that we wish we could have, I don't know.
68. I was in a bad place too. It's called Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, they thought you were dead. No, I was really just in Huntsville. It's a snotty little. Although they got the space museum.
They got the Redstone
Yeah, it's
Air
a good
Force
place. Yeah,
Base.
I
That's
shouldn't. I
cool.
shouldn't say. I'm making fun.
Yeah.
It's a nice.
It's a
little
nice
town.
place.
It is a nice little town. No, I mean, well, I remember driving. I took the barman. My final wife. We took the barman to space camp.
That's true.
And I remember driving through all those little teeny Alabama towns. And the nice thing was they all had little gazebos in the middle of the square, and it just, a little main street, and it was just, it was calm and nice and sweet. And it was like old-fashioned America. I remember growing up, having a paper route and delivering
paper what?
A paper route. That's what I used to call it. Anyway, okay. I'm sorry, we're totally lost my mind here. Now, geez, we got so much to do. Let's do a little submarine stuff. You want to do the submarine stuff?
Yeah,
What do you want to do?
yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's talk about the sub for a second. Yeah.
Okay. We have so many related things, and again, we'll have to kind of space this out because there's just so much. You're going to be hearing about comments from people who turned down the chance to go on the sub. Mm-hmm. You'll hear. I'll be telling you why they decided not to do it. Pretty appalling. You're going to hear right now, Flounder, if you would, sir, James Cameron, the director of the movie Titanic, who himself, I think he's been down to the Titanic wreckage something like 30 times himself. Maybe even, I think even maybe more than that. But he's done in a big, metal steel capsule boat thing.
The first 16 times, then he got so good at it, he just swims down.
Yeah, he just held his breath really good. Anyway, and now here's this is incredible. The Titanic director, James Cameron, is ripping the makers of that Titan sub for not getting it certified. Cameron has made 33 trips of his own down to the Titanic wreckage, and he says Ocean Gate destroyed 63 years of pioneering by eschewing obvious safety protocols and warnings from experts. Here is James Cameron, and listen to this guy who knows what he's talking about. exactly where they found it. He went on to say that he noted a letter sent by the top players in the submergence engineering community had warned Ocean Gate CEO Stockton Rush, the pilot in there, that the sub was too experimental to carry passengers, needed to be certified, and it was not. More coming up and a whole bunch of stuff. It's 3:45 already, and we got tweets and stuff and things and comedy. Got a comedy guy, and our girl Amanda's coming in after 4, do a little dating stuff. All right, with the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder on Extra 106.3. Here you go. Look out. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Rock and roll in 10 before 4. I don't think I've ever heard this song
Me
before
neither.
by Dylan.
Union Sundown.
This is Bob Dylan. I'll be damned.
I think he has like 47 albums or something like that.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he's probably got 700 sons that he's got laying around somewhere. In fact, I mean, he's famous for just.
The basement tapes alone are like 100 plus songs.
It's unbelievable. Well, it was on this day in 2004, Bob Dylan was awarded an honorary music degree by the University of St Andrews in Scotland, Scotland's oldest university.
I've been there.
And oh, really?
It's right next to the golf course.
Well, I'll be damned. For St Andrews Golf Course. He's a doctor of music as of... and he's 82 years old now or something like that? Jeez, I can't even believe it. Anyway, hold on, a quick birthday thing. Oh, we haven't played our comedian guy yet, too. Oh, we got so many other... also, the phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And if you'd like to join us on any of the Hunter stuff or the sub stuff or Letter Rip Friday, anything goes. If you want to just say hi or we hate you or I'll never listen to you again or hope you die, or if maybe if the VA telling me just kill myself now and stop bothering them, whatever. Anything that's
like
on
to
your
buy
mind.
you dinner.
Hot babe saying, I've always wanted to go out with a radio guy. Whatever. I mean, it could happen. Sorry. Coming up later.
That sub a sink.
Tips for, that barn door's closed. The horses ain't going anywhere on that barn. A quick birthday. Clarence Thomas, birthday today, 75 years old. And Flounder's service, I have my own service I look up for history and birthdays. Flounder has one too. And this guy, I think, is an English guy, and he's kind of corny or kinky. And he has some stupid one-liners. Clarence Thomas, 75. Clarence Thomas, if you haven't bought him a gift yet, then you probably don't have a case before the court. Oh.
Wow.
Clarence Thomas, 75, which begs the question of just what do you get the man who has everything because it was gifted to him by billionaire Harlan Crow. All right, never mind. Oh, this is naughty. Clarence Thomas, 75, looking for a gift. Can't go wrong with upgrading him to Pornhub Premium. That's got something to do with a bottle of Coca-Cola, I'll bet you. Anyway, on this day in 1940, Adolf Hitler decides to take a roving tour of all the major, beautiful historical sites in Paris. That was right after the Nazis occupied the whole country. And most notably for his elegant and self-deprecating manner, the mayor of Paris swiftly stepped forward to the Fuhrer and said, "Table for 20,000, monsieur."
Okay.
I had to say it.
You told that joke last week. That's 2 times on the joke.
There was a
in
day
a week.
the Fuhrer went to Paris. You have to say the joke.
Not every week.
You have to say that it wasn't my idea in history that he goes to Paris, and you can't do a Paris joke with Hitler without saying "table for 20,000, monsieur."
Where's that written?
I wrote it. The hell?
Let's do some sub
I can
facts.
do what I want.
Let's do some sub facts here. You know what? What's his face? Cameron said he knew exactly where the sub was. You asked a question yesterday, the day before. Are there currents down there? Yes, there are currents, even down there at the bottom. And what they do when the subs go down, they never land behind it because the currents usually are going into the stern, into the back of the ship, and they don't want the sub pushed into the ship, so they land the subs in front on the bow. That way they get pushed away from the ship, the currents, and that's where he thought that's where
you're going. I don't know.
No, you're spiraling down. They all go down the same way, and that's where he knew exactly where it's going to be, and that's where they found the debris on the bow side, not too far away from it.
And again, just for the record, I do not have a problem with the Navy in any way. The Navy has secret systems, and they know, for example, if there's a submarine approaching in the ocean somewhere near America, they're going to know it. They have sensor systems, and we don't know what they are. They're top secret, obviously. They don't want the enemy to know. So the Navy was keeping a hush hush about how they found out that there was an implosion or a problem and debris and so forth, and a crash or whatever happened. But my problem is that the Navy knew about this Sunday. They were dead Sunday.
They think they're dead, but they weren't sure.
They were dead Sunday. There's almost no possible... if the implosion happened then, it's over. They would have been crushed like a grape.
But they said they heard what they thought was implosion, but they couldn't tell 100%. So are you going to call off the search and think, oh, it's over, and what if you found them later and they could have been found?
No. Hold on a minute. All I'm saying is, the only problem I have is this. The Navy did everything right. Nobody called off the search. Nobody did anything wrong about that. What I'm saying is, then we don't want to know the secrets the Navy has. has to be able to detect things for military. My only problem is if they were dead Sunday, and then apparently the Navy passed along the information that something bad may have happened down there. So just to alert all you guys who in the search thing, we think something bad happened an hour and a half into the thing. And remember, James Cameron said, if you lose your communication and your everything,
navigation
it's over.
And comms.
You blew up. Yeah. You can't lose it without having be gone. So therefore, they knew they were dead, but they obviously couldn't stop looking. They couldn't stop the search. They did not stop the search. They did everything right. My problem is that when the Navy told the other guys, apparently there was some information that the White House said we don't want to, because of what was going on with the Hunter Biden investigation, and how all the information came out about the knowledge that Hunter and Daddy knew all about it, and they wanted their communist Chinese people paid off. Also, the business with the stuff going on with the federal Gestapo investigation and the embarrassment and disgrace of Atlanta, Chrissy, the Cossack Ray, the head of the FGI, the Gestapo investigation, and so all that was going on. And so the White House said, no, wait until if this is going to start exploding later on in the week, save that information. So everybody talking about the sub all of a sudden.
Right. Wall Street Journal said this.
That's what the Wall Street... Now, the Wall Street Journal is not exactly a rabble-rousing, hard right-wing, a Trump-loving, Biden-hating newspaper.
No.
Okay? So not for decades, even if they ever were. But again, they were a conservative business paper. They were all conservative. But, anyway. So again, these are not secrets. And that would bother the hell out of me, is once again, politically, the same reason that the FBI and the DOJ and all those people were politically helping the Biden administration. Here we go again. It's just more of the same.
You ready for some facts?
I am.
This is from Officer Dave Corley, a former nuclear submarine officer.
Yeah.
Says when a submarine hull collapses, it moves inward at about 1,500 miles per hour. That's 2,200 feet per second.
Wait, when a sub collapses?
Yeah, when it collapses inside, it's moving at 1,500 miles per hour. The walls are.
Holy well, that's instantaneous.
Okay, well, the time required for complete collapse is 1 millisecond. That's how quick it is. Okay. The human brain, this is whether they knew, the human brain responds instinctively to stimulus at about 25 milliseconds. For a rational response to what's happening, sensing it, thinking about it, and then acting, 150 milliseconds. The air inside a sub has a high concentration of hydrocarbon vapors, meaning when the hull collapses, it behaves like a very large piston in a very large diesel engine.
It would have blown up like that.
Yeah. So the air will immediately ignite and explode. And now here's where it gets disgusting. Large blobs of fat, which would be the passengers, would be incinerated, turned to ash and dust quicker than you can blink your eye. So they're not going to find pretty much, and we can't even recover it, basically.
I wonder whether the carbon fiber stuff is still salvageable.
They found some debris. I don't know if they can pick it up.
Again, I don't know if they've actually seen it. Have they found it by radar? Or
I think
they found
it
by vision?
The French thing found it, didn't it?
I'm not sure. Have they seen the debris?
I don't think any debris that has been physically seen yet, but
I don't think so.
I'll take a gander.
In fact, if it had, I'll bet we'd have seen it. I mean, if they could see it.
Well, they know it's in front on the bow, so they know something's there.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's things
because they found the back end of it.
But again, they can tell by just the radar type stuff. Yeah,
was pretty much intact. For every 1 foot of water depth at sea, pressure increases by 0.445 pounds per square inch. At 12,000 feet down, the pressure is 5,560 psi. If you swim to the bottom of a 10-foot pool, what do you think the psi is in your ears at 10 feet under?
Not much. I mean, a little. You can feel it. You definitely feel your ears at 10 feet. 5.
Flounder?
800.
4. 4.
So debris from the Ocean Gate sub was found 1,600 feet from the Titanic after a catastrophic implosion.
Front of the bow.
But again, it says found. It doesn't say I haven't seen any pictures of it. We don't know whether they found it by radar showing there was an objects there, or whether they've actually got video pictures.
So you're not going to believe it until they have
No, I believe it. I believe it's true. I'm just saying I want to see the. I'm just saying they haven't been specific. If they said we've actually seen the video and they have the so anyway, I don't know. I'm just trying to have the little people get their stuff. All right, we're late. It's 3:59. Time for the 3:58 break. I don't know. Here we go. Hold on.
seconds.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. All right, coming up, we're going to have Amanda in here and talk dating and girl stuff, and also our comedian friend, and more of the actual news stuff, too, coming up right after 4 o'clock. Here we go. Now we go. Oh, is that us? This isn't Amanda. We got Amanda in here. My girl Amanda. And now, what the hell is this? Now we're talking. I want to hear it stupid, so I want Amanda. It's my babe girl, Amanda. Wait, I can't wait another day, Amanda.
That's the one.
I'm gonna say it like a man and make you understand.
Who sings this?
Amanda.
Who sings this?
Boston.
Well, let's keep it that way.
Thank you. Poor girl, she's gonna leave. We welcome Amanda. And again, it's Let It Rip Friday. Anything goes. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Holy crap! It's sports coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls as always, and now recently, Flounder's been kind of teasing us over the last many months while we were doing our podcast before they took a chance on getting us actually on the radio again. Anyway, and so Flounder was talking. He met this girl, and he's very secretive. If he doesn't tell us squat about anything, and he's even not as bad as Pete Davis. Pete Davis could have a family of 9, and you would never know it, or even where he lives, or how old he is, or anything else. 10. See what I'm saying? Okay. So finally, Flounder, Flounder kind of admitted that he's been seeing this girl. Still, we don't know anything about her. The other day, I'm driving in to the ballpark here, the station, and on the sidewalk, Flounder says, "Hey, Kimmer," and I turn around, and there's a girl next to him. I said, "Oh my God, she's real!" "Oh my God, she's real!" And now Amanda, and I'm welcoming here Amanda, and here's my reaction to when I first saw her. I said, "Oh my God, she's real!" And immediately she had a big smile on her face and looked happy. I mean, she just looked so pretty and happy and fresh, and like the girl next door that's just happy to be alive. And I said, "Well, get over here, girl," something like that. And, of course. So she trots over, and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I love her." I mean, her reaction made me so happy to see a girl who was spontaneous and happy. And not, what is this? You know what I mean? Not suspicious. And I was so happy for Flounder because, the guy's, if he wants a family, he's got to get going. You know what I mean?
Got to get the process started.
I'm just saying. Anyway, but
I'm not in any rush.
Chop, chop.
No, now don't say that out loud because she might be
listening.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I thought, and so I've been kind of teasing him. I've been giving Flounder. I'm not sure Flounder's as romantic as he might be, and I don't really know much. I call her Veronica. Anyway, and so I said a couple of tips. Now, Flounder, she is a hand holder, but Flounder says, "I'm really not a hand holder." I said, "Well, from now on, you are a hand holder. When you hold her hand, you do, and you take her hand, you take her on the outside. You don't let her hold your hand on the outside. You're the guy, and you have to do it the right way,
right
on the outside of the thing." And and the second thing I said to him, I know, first of all, is that the thing?
That is a thing. I'm not a hand holder myself, but for people that are,
see.
Well, not everybody is.
You're right.
But that's that's we are. But for someone who is, and she's a hand holder. Now, let me ask you this, for example. And again, by the way, I'm not asking you for your own personal thing, but as you're a young woman. Well, no. Amanda represents a whole generation.
He will live vicariously through.
Oh, no question about it.
That is fine. We can make that happen.
It's like when you leave, it'll be like I've been on a date for the weekend. I mean, that's really by comparison. But you're a young woman, modern woman. You're a working woman. In fact, you're single? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Single adjacent.
Single what?
Single adjacent. Pretty single.
I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
It doesn't mean anything.
If she wants to explain it, she can explain it.
I'm single. I'm single.
Okay, no, I guess off the ears it's a bad thing, or I shouldn't have asked this.
No.
Okay.
It gets complicated out there with dating apps, with social media. So I'm single.
See, I'm
single.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can't even in a million years relate to what's going on here.
It's crazy out there.
So I'm trying to help Flounder, and again, I'm way out of touch.
I don't know if you would say the word helping.
Well, that's the other thing. So I may not be anyway. So as a young woman, I love to get your feedback, and we also have some things that women say drive them crazy, and why you'll never get a second date. Okay, the second thing I told Flounder was a little tip. I said, the next time you hug her, when if you say goodnight or goodbye or whatever, you're leaving for work, whatever, and you all do it. Everybody knows when you give somebody a hug, you do the hug, and then everybody breaks apart, and that's the hug. Okay.
Right.
Next time when you give a hug and you get a hug, and when she starts to slightly beginning just a little teeny bit to start moving, you say, no, you hold her closer.
Oh.
See? You hold her. No, you just
I gotta respond.
No. I told him. I said, here's what you do. You said you hold her closer. You pull her into you, and you put your head right down on her neck, right on her face, and you say, "Baby, I can't let you go yet."
See, the thing, Kimmer, is when you go on dates, and if it's your first date or second date.
Not first date.
What I'm saying is that usually doesn't happen. Usually it's a kiss on the cheek, or maybe just a simple kiss on the lips. It's not really a hug.
No. But I'm saying now you've been out with a girl, you're dating her, and so I'm just saying from now on. Oh my God! So I'm saying, but I mean, if you've been out with a girl, you know her, but it's still a beginning thing. You're not, you may not have even said "I love you." You're just beginning.
What would
stuff.
you do if a guy did that?
Well,
to you?
I mean, I'm not saying the first time you met you. If you've been out 2 or 3 times together and you like each other and it's really going great, and you said, "Oh, hi, honey," and you give each other a kiss, and you start to break away, and he says, "No, I can't stop holding you yet."
I think it's circumstantial. Where are we? Who is he? How much do I like him?
Obviously you're together, you're dating, you're a couple, you're out out every weekend. I mean, you're,
Yeah.
you know, and he kind of forces you to stay with him, hugging you for a
Right.
second.
I think I would like it. I haven't experienced it yet, but it sounds like a nice
goodness.
time.
Well, anyway, anyway, so I'm trying to give tips to Flounder because I really have a good feeling about this. I just love this girl.
I wanna
think
meet
she's-
her, Flounder.
She's we got to
Flounder.
bring her in here one of these days. Anyway, so I see. I don't know anything about anything. Now, let me ask you this. Hold on, I got to find my stuff here. My girls.
You
there
only
we go.
knew for 2 hours she's coming.
No. Well, it's 4:09. We're doing fine. In fact, I know Amanda's going to have to leave here at some point, so just for a couple minutes. Turn-offs. Revealing things when you're on a date. Turn-offs. Pete mentioned one thing immediately.
Oh, if you're at a date and she's chewing with her mouth open, that's like...
Oh, yeah. That's a red flag. For sure.
For example, when a girl says, my last boyfriend did this, and my last boyfriend did that.
Talking about
the ex. Okay. Yeah,
man.
that's understandable.
wait. What about this? I dated this girl, just moved back from New York, and I planned out the whole evening for her because I miss going to the movies and walking everywhere. And I planned this whole place. Only one place in Atlanta you could actually walk to the movie and the dinner and all that stuff. And while we're sitting there eating dinner, she tells me about this movie star she used to make out with.
Ooh. Yeah, that might not go any further than that, huh?
And she wondered, why are you all quiet all of a sudden? Why, because you just destroyed the entire evening.
Maybe she was
Well-
trying to make you jealous.
Maybe.
No,
It worked.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'll never forget the time a woman I was going to marry said something like, oh, I love it when guys do that. Or I thought, well, guess who's never going to do that again? What the? I mean, oh, my God.
Yeah, don't say that to a guy. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any, is the younger generation, do you even, is it all app stuff and social stuff? And
It really depends on the person. The apps are probably predominantly what people my age use. I'm hoping for someone to meet someone in person, but so far not good.
How could you? That's impossible. You were beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Yeah.
she's beautiful.
I'm surprised guys up here aren't hitting on you, tell you the truth. There's a
Well-
lot of testosterone
Oh,
around
I
here.
guarantee they're all hitting. They're probably afraid because of some horse
HR.
feathers thing about HR. Exactly.
Cameras.
Yeah.
No, well, but see, that's the other thing. Why? I guess because everything is social media and phones, and everything's on your phone.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you do that. Now, are there turnoffs when you're trying to meet somebody on the phone? Or
Yeah.
something they say that you
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like
I
what?
mean, people
Like
get
what?
crazy on there. I don't want to use
what?
specific examples, but people
Oh, go
just
ahead.
are.
Well, you don't use names or anything.
People
but
can use like very forward comments right off the bat without even saying hello or how are you or anything, just straight to the point. So you really just got to weed out and find the real gentleman on the apps, which is hard to do when it's all you have is 6 pictures and 3 sentences to go off of.
6? You get 6
You get
pics?
6 pictures. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
on dating is it
On dating. Well, there's a bunch of different dating apps. On the main one that I use, which is Hinge, there's 6 pictures you get.
You're saying 6, not sex, right?
6,
pictures.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
I swear to God, I thought, no, wait, this is a
He's ready
weird.
now.
I'm sure there's an app for that too, but yes.
This is a real different.
Do you spell it H-I or H-E?
Yeah, what's the address over there? But why? How is it possible that it's hard for a woman? I mean, you're a beautiful girl and young, and I mean, business person, and you got everything in the world. I can't believe it. That
Thank
a
you.
guy's shy. Or, no, I'm saying. I mean,
Well-
did not come up to try to meet people anymore, or what?
They don't try to meet you a ton in person, I don't think. I mean, it's easy to get a date when you're on the app. It's easy to get the date, but then it's hard to keep the relationship.
What-
My theory is because there's so many options on the app on either side that you're just easily replaceable.
What were you disappointed about the last time when you had a date from an app and then met the guy? And then,
Yeah, like I think his personality in person didn't translate to how it
See,
was
you can't.
on the phone.
Of course, it's never going. You can't
Yeah.
do it that way.
Yeah.
Can
Oh
you,
my
can
God.
you hold through the commercial? Can you?
Yeah.
Are you sure for
Yeah.
another 5 minutes or
Yeah,
something?
I'm fine.
Okay,
I
know
don't
you
have a
got-
date tonight, so.
What? Oh my God! I can't believe it. Anyway, would you? Oh my God! All right, 4:13. Time for the 4:13 break. I can't believe we're on time here with Amanda on 106.3. Here we. You want me to read this?
No.
Well, it says 4:15. All right, I don't care. I'll read it later. Hold on. I got a face playing the Beatles, I think. I don't know where they are.
Professional broadcaster here.
I can't find it. Hold on. Here we go. Paperback writer. 1966. The Beatles had their 10th consecutive #1 British single with Paperback Writer. Let's see. The track is marked by the boosted bass guitar sound all through it, partly in response to John Lennon demanding to know why the bass on a certain Wilson Pickett record far exceeded the bass on any of the Beatles records. I remember that big dispute in 1966. It was also cut louder than any other Beatles record due to a new piece of equipment used in the mastering process. Check the bass. Here's the Beatles and Paperback Writer. Here we go. Da 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 da. Rock and roll. Look out! Here we go. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, and Flounder.
We're getting some
and
feedback.
Amanda in the house. Feedback. All right, hold on. Quick birthday. No, I don't care about it. Screw it. Let's get feedback. What do you got?
YouTube people who are always so cheerful and happy, our YouTube fans.
Yeah, all
right. Some folks on YouTube think this is creepy.
What's creepy?
This whole segment.
Talking about dating?
I know. I don't understand it.
Are you creeped out?
I'm not creeped out in the slightest, YouTube fans.
Is there? Have I in any way offended or upset you in any possible way?
Not at all.
What do you mean creeped out? Screw you and kiss my ass. How about that?
He hasn't even begun to creep people out.
If you're a bunch of freaking on YouTube, you can do one of those over there.
No.
It's a bunch of crap.
Just one or two people, probably.
Well, this is nonsense. And by the way, excuse me, in my stage of my life, this is it for me. I mean, I just realized I've lived 30 years of a freaking deceitful lie, and the fact when I had cancer 20 years ago, which is when it started. So this is my fun for me is finding out about stuff. Now we're talking with our sweet girl Amanda.
Actually, Clayton on YouTube says, "Give Amanda credit for speaking and not acting too shy."
Oh, Amanda's wonderful. I'm telling when we first came in here, the first time I think I met Amanda was when we came in on the podcast. We were doing our podcast in the studio, and Amanda, hadn't been hired yet. Hadn't started working yet, and Amanda came in to do some interviews and stuff and stuff
Social
like that.
Media, yep.
And I remember telling Pete, I said, "Gosh, she's wonderful. She's great. She's personable and happy and friendly and smart and bright and quick.
Love her and hug her.
No, seriously, yeah. No, I thought, man, I said, boy, she'd be great. She was great on the podcast. So we talked to her on the podcast. And so the other day I said to Peter, I said, we got to get Amanda on the radio. So I think this, I'm now, I'm okay. I'm honestly, from what you've been saying, I'm actually sad in a way. I feel badly for Amanda, not you particularly, but for your
My generation.
Whole generation.
Yeah.
Because, tell us about the app thing and trying to find a date on an app. And what are the questions and what's the difference in when they show up? And I mean,
it depends on the app, but the gist of most apps is you get a few pictures of yourself and you get to look at the pictures that other people post of themselves, whoever you're looking for, and you swipe yes or no, and you basically get an unlimited supply of yeses or nos. So you're trying to date through this giant pool of people.
All right. So once you get, if you pick out somebody, and you have, and there are questions answered, and do you get to pick the questions, or
you get to pick the questions for yourself, and then the other person gets to pick them for themselves.
Like questions like what? I mean,
like for example, my guilty pleasure is, and then you get to fill it out. Or,
what is your guilty pleasure?
Reality TV, just like Farmer Wants a Wife.
There you
love
go.
It. I love it.
I was talking to somebody.
We got a match.
Yeah.
We got a match.
Well, the thing was, we actually thought the exact same things about the exact same people and everything else, which was kind of funny. But okay, guilty pleasures. Now, but can you? What would a guy say, for example? Do you remember an answer that a guy gave to you that you thought, well, great, or maybe it was a great answer?
Well, it's the same answer for everybody, but one that like most guys have on their profile is the prompt is I'm overly competitive about, and then there's a blank, and they all say everything, which gives you no information.
Yeah,
so
how can you? I can't. I feel bad that this is the way you have to do it, right?
Yeah,
but how? What happened?
So
is
then,
mostly women doing it to initiating, or the men initiating?
It's half and half. It really depends on the person. But then if you see someone you like and you guys match with each other, so you both said yes, then you go into a chat where you basically are texting back and forth, and then that's where you can try to exchange numbers and get out onto a real date.
How often does it happen?
It happens. It happens.
All right, hold on. Flounder's
All right,
raising
so
screaming in
Amanda,
there.
we have an idea back here.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we set Kimmer up a profile?
We 100% should. Yes. I'll be the one to do it.
Which one? Which app should we use?
I'm going to go ahead and recommend Hinge out of all of them.
Because
Does it
he's
have a-
unhinged.
There's no age limit, obviously.
No age limit. No.
Well, that's mine,
There's
baby.
women that like older men, man. They're out there. Daddy issues.
Yeah, if they have bags full of money. Let's
First of all, they all have daddy issues, but some of them more than others.
Daddy issues are fine. I don't have a problem with daddy issues. I'm a giver. I'll put you in my will.
Somebody has nothing left.
I've actually used that line, by the way. I'll put you in
That
my
could be your
will,
prompt.
baby.
That could be your prompt.
See, there you are. Now, if I were going to do it, I'd do all funny stuff, I think.
Yeah, those are the profiles that stand out, the funny ones, but a lot of guys aren't. So
Well, but you know, the other thing is, and I've always, well, I'm an idiot. Okay, let me admit that. I was born in the wrong century by a million times. I would have loved in my career, and still would for that matter, would love to do like an overnight talk show on romance and relationships and women and girls, because it's so
For truckers.
No, an overnight trucker show, right? You're driving down the old, but because it's so, the secrets are so simple. Ladies, you could have a man do anything. He will kill for you. He will slaughter animals for you. Anything you want to do with a couple of very simple little things, like once in a while, maybe make him feel like a man, again, and instead of trying to, compete or something like that, oh God, I'm so glad to hear you're so big and strong. It's just a silly little stuff. And the guy, because remember, we can't just go take you anymore. In the caveman days, they would just go take you and say, oh boy, I want that one, and go take her. Well, we can't do that.
Right.
Clearly.
Shouldn't.
So you have to, you have to, show stuff or whatever. So we have, we have to go through the process. But it's so simple. Men are still, we're guttural animals. We still, I think most guys now. Maybe this is not. I think that
We're
maybe the
simple.
issue. Well, maybe we used to be. I don't think we are anymore. I think maybe men are way more complicated.
Yeah.
Because of
You've
social
evolved
media
as a species.
but
Devolved.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure in a good way. I'll bet it's
I don't
harder
think
to.
in a good way.
I mean, do you find guys with what you would consider old-fashioned values, or is that even a thing anymore?
No.
Now, you grew
Not
up in
at all.
Kentucky, right?
California.
California. So the Southern gentleman thing, is that a thing you would like or not like?
I would like it. Yeah, it's hard to find, I feel, even down here in
can't
Georgia.
believe it.
Yeah. I've seen it before,
I'm really astounded.
but it's very few and far between.
What part of California?
LA.
Oh my
Okay.
God! But again, I think it's all. I think it's this is yesterday's cigarettes. The cell phone is the dangerous thing that everybody. This is. People all of a sudden feel they have to comment on stuff. It must be so complicated. To try to. I'm overwhelmed with how horrible
Me
it must be.
too. Makes two of us.
Oh Lordy! Now, is there anything you remember that really said, "Oh boy, that was a great answer" or a great thing on a social media that it turned out to be a good thing, or has it ever worked?
It's worked for a little bit. There was a couple people that I met and dated for like max maybe 3 months out of it. So we had a good conversation on the app. We exchanged numbers, and it just worked out for a short amount of time. But
no, is that just a normal thing, or were you misled or confused by the whole business before you actually met? I mean, is that the problem? Is that you have a preconceived notion after typing someone is a lot different than speaking to someone?
Right.
Do you ever talk on the phone? I mean, is it all typing and texting and stuff?
Sometimes, not as much as I would like, but it's mostly
see?
texting. Sometimes, if you're lucky, it's a phone call. But I think what you run into, like on the apps with the guys that I actually did talk to for a decent amount of time, like I actually had a run-in with one where he was still on the app even though we were dating for 3 months. So like the app is just kind of like a drug of its own. Like you can't really get rid of it because there's so many other options on there too.
Are you still friends with any of them?
No.
No, you got. Once it's over, it's over.
It's over.
Wow.
Wow. And was it anything that you wouldn't have known because you were communicating on social media more than actually meeting him for the first time in person?
No, I think the social media was just like the mode of getting us to meet, and it worked out from there. It became a problem later on.
Well, I don't know. It's so simple, I mean, it's just. I'll tell you this. This is true. A girl said to me one line once. Said something to me that made me feel so overwhelmed 13 years, didn't see her for 13 years. 13 years later, I called her, went out and had a day with her, went to see her, and married her.
Wow.
And the reason it started me thinking about, because I was single at the time, and I thought, whatever happened to so, with a buddy of mine, whatever happened to so was 13 years ago when she said whatever she said. One line she said to me, and it struck me so much. I remember I remember the minute, the every second of it, and the visual and the people. I mean, it was so powerful to me. And 13 years later, I something said, well, God, I called her, and as soon as I did, I thought, man, I've been so touched by that made me feel something particularly special and manly, to be honest with you, that I freaking married her.
Wow.
Rambling man.
Well, see, this
that question went on 15 minutes.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Almost out of time here.
I know. Oh my God, we're done. Oh crap! I hate this. All right, Amanda, thank you so much. I know this is probably the worst hour of your life, but we're gonna make you do it again one day. Unless you, I'll bet you run out of here next Friday at noon.
He's not kidding. You have made his weekend now.
This is thank you.
Wish me luck out there.
You're a sweet girl.
Good luck.
Anyway, Amanda on 106.3. More coming up with stuff and everything.
Thank
Look out.
you, Amanda.
Thank you, sweetie. Look out, it's only the camera with Peyton Flounder. Stand by. Is he going to sing here or what? I thought that was where he's going to sing. Maybe it's a ding, da, da, ding, dong. Come on, Lonnie. Oh, wait a minute. Give me. Well, this is 1950. 1957. Lonnie Donegan was number one in Britain with this song. It was his second number one hit, and by the way, his huge hit. You got to play "My Chewing Gum Lost Its Flavor" on the bed, but you got to play that one. So he's going to find that one for us. This is Lonnie Donegan from 1957, but you got to play the chewing gum song. And while you do that, I'll mention that this was. But he's not going to play the chewing gum song.
No, please don't. I'm begging.
It was on this day, 30 years ago, 1993. Lorena Bobbitt sliced off her husband's tallywhacker after he allegedly raped her. John Bobbitt was later acquitted of marital sexual assault, and Lorena, the wife, was later acquitted of malicious wounding by reason of insanity. And it's true that when she whacked it off, she took off with it in the car and threw it out the window. Can you imagine if it hit some guy's windshield behind her? Whoa, look at the size of the wally-backle on that mosquito, honey.
It may
Here we go. Here's sliding. Yeah, baby. All right. Listen to the crowd. Anyway, thank you, Flounder. Lonnie Donegan. Oh, you know what? Let's do. Okay, we're kind of doing a weird hour here on Let It Rip Friday, but for because we feel like it. So there. We want to get Shane in here in a minute. I'm not in here, but he's at the mic over there. I want to talk about Shane and a couple of questions and his obit. I asked him to bring in his obit from when he had it as a college course requirement or a project, whatever. And we have a comedian, our Drew, I think Thomas, I think is his name. We were talking about dating, and ironically, we have the Flounder found this guy pretty funny. A good little sound here, Flounder, if you don't mind. Mr. Thomas, I think it is. Pretty funny guy.
Meet women with kids. I don't mind if you have kids. I just don't like bad kids. I don't like the people with the big 5-year-olds dragging their feet in baby strollers all over Walmart. If you can go from Walmart to your car and your kid can get out the stroller, help you break it down and put it in the back of the car, they don't need to be in no stroller. I'm in the mall the other day, I seen a kid in a stroller reading. And you know who I hate the most? You know the people with the 3 and the 4-year-olds that can talk, but the mother let them use a pacifier? I'm over this girl house 2 weeks ago. We sitting on the couch watching TV, baby in the middle of the living room playing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the baby go, you know I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, right? And I'm like, this is not a baby. This dude is making whole sentences right here. This ain't no baby.
He's a funny guy. I've never heard of him. He's Drew, I think Drew Thomas.
Drew Thomas.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's, is this fairly new stuff or is this from the past? Do we know when this was?
I'll have to check him out on YouTube.
Anyway, Flounder found, I guess Flounder found it. Yeah, and he's a very funny guy. And I've never heard of him. I don't know. We'll try to give you more if we know where he is or his comment or whatever. A couple things. Again, speaking of our friend Denise, who sent us the pens and the handkerchiefs, you can have a clean handkerchief in your pocket. She also has sent me some coffee. Just very quickly, on the Facebook this morning, I put her Rumble this morning in my personal page. I put some video of for several days, for some reason, I know it's grumpy, I'll make it quick. My go-to Publix almost every day, and they've been out for several days of medium ground coffee. My Dunkin' Donuts medium ground coffee. Okay, that's all I get. I drink 1 mug of coffee a day, and that's it. That's all. But I got to have it, and I like what I like. I don't like the stuff that's stupid. I don't like various stuff. I don't like that all dark stuff and everything else. All right, so I haven't had it. So I said, well, I'll try this. I had a little bag, and it was French vanilla. Dunkin' Donuts French vanilla. So I got that and I made that, and it was I took one smell of it and one sip and threw it out, and I brought the bag in and gave it to Tiffany. The whole bag of French vanilla Dunkin' Donuts coffee I gave to Tiffany. So then I went back to the store again last night, and sure enough, they still don't have my just regular stupid ground Dunkin' Donuts ground, not the beans. They either say they had plenty of the beans. Who likes the beans? I don't grind my own beans anyway. So I didn't have it. So I bought this middle dark Colombian roast stuff, and I thought I'm not going to like this, but I can always milk it down with more milk and sugar, and maybe it'll be taxable. Well, so I made that, and I put the video on Facebook of teaching me a lesson because I liked it. Now, see, I reacted immediately.
It's pretty much the same.
It's a little stronger, but again, you put a little more milk in it. What's a big thing? No, I can't believe it.
I drink it black, and I can't really tell that much of a difference between regular and Colombian.
So Denise saw the video, and now she's sending me the coffee.
I got to ask Flounder, do you like blackberries?
Yes.
I am lousy with blackberries. I went out this morning and went out to the creek and picked blackberries and came back and put it in my cereal. And they are just, I literally can drive out of my driveway, which is basically a dirt road, and reach out the window and pick the blackberries as I'm driving.
You got to put them in, they're good in smoothies.
Really?
Oh, they're good in everything.
Really blackberries are great.
As a baby boomer, when I grew up as a kid, all the subdivisions were all brand new, so the houses were all new, and most of the land around was all woods and
I was
fields.
wondering how you were going to turn this around.
Well, no, that's true, but I remember talking to you about blackberries. Oh, my God, we used to go for my mom. Yeah. Blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries all over the place. Big fat ones, too, because it was still mostly, uncut stuff. I'll absolutely, blackberries are wonderful.
My first memory of blackberry picking was stepping on a water moccasin. So
no, really,
yeah. So that's a big memory. I'm careful when I pick blackberry.
That's not that good. By the way, quick Waze update. My Waze yesterday took me on another route home, and instead of saying take the first exit on the traffic circle, I went all the way around the traffic circle, all the way around on purpose.
Quick learner here.
That's right. So I'm not making a mistake this time. I didn't go the first one. I didn't go to any of them. I went all the way around to make sure because again, the other day, you said take the first exit on the roundabout, and I took the exit, which happened to be the street before the roundabout, and ended up going 285 west.
Not that first exit.
And by the time I got all the way back into Roswell and get back into 285 east, Flounder, who left an hour after I did from the station, passed me. That's how long screwed up I was for that stupid thing. Anyway, sorry, everything's fine. What's that? Shane, has Shane got a microphone back there?
I do, yes.
Has he got a minute, or is he doing something? Have you got him working back there? Flounder's got him working pretty good. Shane, welcome aboard to the Kimmer Show. I don't know how long you're going to be actually with our show. Do you even know or what your schedule is or anything?
So recently, I just got, next week I'll be on a different show, but I've been with you guys now. This is the third week, I believe. So, yeah, I think I'll be gone, but I might end up coming back. Our schedules are we learn them each week, the beginning of on Mondays.
Now, so are you an intern or are you a trainee or
yes, sir,
what are you?
I'm an intern.
All right,
yes,
what's a sort of
okay.
And now
what
does that mean?
A Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah.
I want a hot dog.
So in other words, is this a training thing to help with school stuff, or is this?
I can get school credit for this. Yes, I'm doing that also, but I'm doing it more for the experience.
All right. So
radio.
How did this start? Why in the world would you want to get into radio? Okay. I mean, really, how did this all? You're a student in Mercer. What year are you in?
Yes, sir. I'll be a senior in the fall.
Okay, sure again. All right, so he's going to be a senior in the fall at Mercer. And how did this start? Why radio? And when did this start? And what's going on here?
Well, I've always been interested into sports journalism, sports reporting, sports broadcasting. And last summer, I went to New Jersey because I have basically some family members that run the news station up there. And I went up there and I had a summer internship for a couple of months. And then I was actually at a job fest thing, for interns and stuff like that, last fall, and I saw nothing that really had spark an interest. So then I was like, you know what, I'm going to look up at 680 and I'm going to look into 92.9 The Game and I'm going to get an internship in sports radio. So then I emailed Scott McFarlane and then I eventually got an interview and got it. So that's really how it happened.
And so now, what does this mean? Is this a limited term? You said 3 weeks, and then are you done? Or
no, I started in May, but I will go till the beginning of August. So August 5th will be my last day.
And then what after that? Does that mean is this do anything for you in terms? Do you want to come work here?
I would love to work here. Honestly, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I like Overall, I like everyone that I've met here, and I like the vibe here.
Who do you not like?
Yeah, point them out.
We want names.
Yeah, I'll hit him in the nose.
I like everyone.
Yeah, there you go. But why radio?
I can't really say why. I think it's the overall vibe that everyone kind of has here and in radio. I just like how it's pretty casual, but at the same time, you get your work done. I think there's some kind of energy around people that work in radio that I like. I think it's just more like me. It's like everyone that I've met recently, the guys at least, have been like guys, and I've gotten that same vibe from everyone, and I just like talking to them. It's the environment that I want to kind of be around.
Yeah. It's also the reason that people who get into it often is because it's live, it's right now. You've got to do what you've got to do, or it's not going to be done. It's
kind of a
exciting.
rush. I like it.
Yeah. Goodness great. Now the radio has changed so much over. Of course, you want to get more into. Do you want to be an on-air guy or a producer or do you have a goal?
The end goal would probably be to host my own show one day. I've always felt like I can bring people together in that kind of sort. Also, I like sports broadcasting. I would like to be a commentator one day. That's always been a dream of mine. Yeah. Do
you have a favorite sport or a favorite topic? Or
football is definitely my favorite sport by far.
Yeah. Before I forget, let's see. Okay, I'll tell you what. When we come back, we got to take a break here in a second. But when we come back, I want you to do your obit. We'll talk about how that led up to it. Now, before we get to a break here in a couple seconds, what's going on in football? What are you thinking now? If you're a football fanatic in particular, what's on the top topic right now?
I think the top thing right now, if you're an NFL fan, is Desmond Ritter.
Rodgers.
If he's going to have to be for Atlanta, I mean, you got to be thinking about if Desmond Ritter's your guy right now, and it seems like he will be. So it's really exciting to see what Atlanta can do next season. Yeah. So
you think Aaron Rodgers is half nuts?
I like him because he's half nuts. Because everyone else is too boring. I like the way he acts.
I saw the interview he did about the drugs he takes in that special thing, and I mean the guy's cerebral. He said when I started taking it, I won the Super Bowl and the MVP. So it didn't hurt him.
It's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. All right, we're coming back with Shane and Flounder and Pete, and it's only quarter 5 already on the 106.3 and something like that. Look out. Flounder's music list today here on 106.3. A little Diana Ross. On this day in 2003, Diana Ross went to court, testified that she was coerced and felt intimidated into taking a breathalyzer that showed her blood alcohol level was well over the limit of 0.8. In fact, it was like 5 times over the limit. She said, if I didn't take the breath test, I was either going to go to the hospital or go to jail, Your Honor.
Yeah.
And he said, would it be possible for you to use a different name, like my married name of Diane Nays? And the magistrate said, it's a little late for that, ma'am. You know, so, Diana,
Zip
right.
it.
Yeah. Let's see. On this day, oh, by the way, again, this is okay. We're going to go right back to the Titanic sub thing. Wait to hear the people who did not go on the trip and what they said and why. Also, we got more comedian stuff. Also, we got Holy Crap at Sports. Also, we got Pete's Tweets. Also, we've got Skynet. Also,
sure we do.
We got Podium. We're going to hear people from the Podium. Finally, the media is starting to take back their power, or at least their anger at the White House about the
every day he draws this little circle and says, "This is our clock.
Okay,
this is
right
what
here.
we're going to do."
There it is, right here. There
and
it
we
is.
never do any
well,
of that.
we try and do it. But anyway, so it's coming up next, I swear to God. And here's our number if you'd like to join us or complain about us either way. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. On this day, this is from Flounder's kind of snarky British guy. He says this, quote, in 2006, Aaron Spelling, who was responsible for such shows as Charlie's Angels, Starsky and Hutch, and The Love Boat, and Fantasy Island, Melrose Place, and Beverly Hills 90210. He died after having a stroke at the age of 83. As you know, it was actually Tori Spelling who killed him with her callous neglect. Wow, that's pretty strong. Was that a thing? I don't have no idea. Jeez, but this guy does that almost with every one of them. He's kind of got a thing. Okay, let's see. Let's get back to the issue, the thing on the issue on the sub. Some of the people who are today alive are only alive because they said, "No, that doesn't look very good to me." 5 people, and perhaps many more, but we know of at least 5 people, avoided going on to the Titan's doomed voyage because of various items, including this. A diver named Chris Brown signed up to go with his buddy Hamish Harding, I think the name was, after a few beers. They were on a vacation with Sir Richard Branson's Necker Island area. And then later, this guy, Chris Brown, said, the scaffolding poles they used as ballast, and the vessel was just shoddy. A financier, Jay Bloom, and his son declined a voyage with his son, even when they were offered a $100,000 discount over the $250,000 price. They offered a $100,000 discount. And another explorer, David McCannon, slated to join the trip, was forced to cancel because of a work thing. But Robert Mester, a voyage aboard the Titan's predecessor, and later on Titan himself, said he turned it down. Robert Mester turned it down after citing its, quote, off-the-shelf equipment. Quite frankly, quote, I found something else to take that time up rather than take the trip. But the Titan had a carbon fiber hull, which, how do I put this? It's not a material that's ever been successfully used at great depths. Mr. Brown of North Yorkshire paid $180,000 voyage director, later pulled out over safety fears, including the scaffolding poles that were used as ballast. He said, I'm deeply saddened by the tragedy. The world of exploration has lost some amazing individuals. My thoughts are with the families of all the lost souls. But this guy, Chris, who signed up, said, I found out they were using old scaffolding poles for the sub's ballast. Its controls were based on computer game controllers. If you're trying to build your own submarine, you could possibly use old scaffolding poles.
No. Wait a minute here. This guy's a billionaire who did this.
Yeah.
What? Is there something wrong in his head that he wouldn't spend some money to make it safe?
Again, they thought. Again, he's the same guy who said, "Well, we use this the control game style controller because we can teach anybody to run a submarine." And again, he's the same guy who said, I don't like 50-year-old white men because they've been around so long and done the same thing all the time. They don't think anymore. They're not as sharp. They're kind of been set in their ways. So I want young people who don't know what they're doing. We can train them and they can learn, boy, this is great, and we can have all the options ahead of us. This is how they're thinking these days. This is why guys like me are inconsequential. It's true. I mean, he said it. We don't want a 50-year-old white guy.
Something wrong with him to have that much money and to do that bad of a job making it safe.
Yeah, this guy, Chris Diver, the diver, said this was a commercial craft. Eventually, I emailed them and said, I'm no longer able to go on this thing. And he asked for a refund. A former Marine and salvage expert in Washington said none of the equipment he saw inside was up to the task of reaching the wreck.
Did he get a refund?
It doesn't say whether he doesn't say whether he got it.
Here's the thing.
He paid a deposit.
I'll quit bringing this up. When I got in that Spitfire, they said up until the time we turned the engine on, all you got to say is, I'm out of here. And he said, no questions.
Really?
We'll give you your money back up until the engine goes on. That
makes sense because people are scared of actually getting up in the air like that. I can see that.
I know, but I wonder if they got their money back.
If they did, I haven't seen it in this story. If he did, I don't know. But the former Marine guy said he said it's never going to make the wreck. After a desperate 4-day search, Mester said he put off taking a trip on the vessel himself after seeing the equipment used by the CEO who was killed down there. They were using off-the-shelf hardware from Radio Shack to operate inside, and quite frankly, we're talking about an environment that requires robust equipment that has certifications and qualifications that are established by different agencies for man-rated submersibles. None of that equipment that I saw inside the submersible was up to that level, so I chose not to go. He told the publication later that he boarded the Titan on dry land, as with his predecessor, and decided against going into the water after he saw what was in there. Jay Bloom shared text between himself and the chief executive, showing he and his son were offered the last-minute discount of $150,000. And the article says, Mr. Bloom, a Democrat supporter who has been photographed with Joe Biden, with his son, who was just 19, had taken their spots and perished with French Navy veteran Paul so-and-so. In one post, he said, I expressed safety concerns, and Stockton told me, while there's obvious risk, this is the boss, the guy said, I'm nervous about safety concerns. And the reply was to him, while there's obviously risk, it's way safer than flying in a helicopter or even scuba diving. He was absolutely convinced that it was safer than crossing the street. I am sure he really believed what he was saying, but he was very wrong. Mm-hmm. And not only that, one of the kids who was on board there, now we got to find a thing with it. Here we go. The billionaire Pakistani's son, Suleiman Dawood, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The billionaire's son, who was 19 years old, was among the 5 dead of the catastrophic implosion on board the sub. He did not want to go on the trip. He only agreed to go on the trip for his dad's sake on Father's Day. His aunt says he was terrified of the daring expedition. The sister and aunts are saying they're absolutely heartbroken. Suleiman joined the expedition because it was important to his Titanic-obsessed father. I feel like one of the guys said, I feel like I've been caught in a really bad film with a countdown. You don't know what you're counting down to. I found it kind of difficult to breathe even thinking of them, said his aunt.
Why would you take your son on such a dangerous mission? If you want him to go, then let him go down with another crew.
19. And he didn't want to go, and he did it. He agreed to it on Father's Day as a gift for his daddy because his father was obsessed with the Titanic, and the family knew he did not want to go.
And here's another thing. Some people don't know they're that claustrophobic until they're in a situation.
Yeah, well, I guarantee it.
There's no way I could do it.
I couldn't do it.
I can't get an MRI tube now.
I can't imagine. Although I think, I've actually forgotten the facts of the case. I think they were only going to be down there for a matter of hours, isn't? I think we're going to be down there for like 8 hours. So
less than 24 hours.
Yeah, less than a day. So I'm not sure. But again, so that that is a mitigating factor. But still, I mean, if you see the inside of the thing, I can't imagine.
If you see the inside of the quarters, they couldn't spend more than a day or two in there.
Yeah, well, I couldn't turn around to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm sorry, but just that.
Yeah.
Five people.
Yeah, but they weren't there for 24 hours, so
stage fright.
Hold it or whatever.
I shouldn't have had that Mexican last night.
Now, do you have that information you had earlier about the pressure and the stuff like that?
I threw it away. Why?
Oh my goodness! Well, that was a very interesting stuff. We'll do that one. No, it's almost 5. It's almost 5 o'clock.
Right here.
We're going to save it till after 5 o'clock.
If it's up here, you know.
No, we're going to do it 5 minutes. No, but that's not it. All right. Anyway, hold on. All right, coming up. This is really going to be fun. We got Holy Crap of Sports. So you're going to hear finally the media, the press, arguing with two of the people at the podium today concerning the President crime family and his corrupt family and how they're now just refusing to talk about it. But it's a very telling moment because it looks like the press may be saying we're not going to take this anymore. We'll find out next week. We'll see if there's a development over the weekend which they refuse to cover or drop it. Then we may know. But if it keeps going, I think it might be a turning point. I'm a little excited about it. You'll hear it. You'll hear the actual sound of what happened at the podium today. Also, you'll hear James Cameron, and we got more of our. We got Tucker Carlson. We haven't played any Tucker yet, talking about politics, and our comedian guy. A couple more comedian guys. A very very funny guy, Drew Thomas. All coming up.
What an hour!
What an hour! Standing by with a head and tweets and Skynet, and we got Holy Crap. And it's unbelievable. We're going to have to stay till 7.
It is unbelievable.
It's actually, don't believe it myself. Thank you. It's 5 o'clock. Holy crap. News Ray. What was it? What was it? Extra 106.3. Now you're talking. It's even better. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Stand by. Right shoulder. 503. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. An extra 106.3 with Pete Davis, sidekick producer at Sports Recorder Extraordinaire, the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder, and Shane. Shane, we got to get his obit. We're going to get that on here. Made him do an obituary, his own obituary, for a college course, and so we're going to talk to him about that. Also, we get your calls. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Now, coming up, Skynet and tweets, and look up at sports, and you're going to hear sound in just a minute from the podium of the star. This is a major story, and also more in the Titanic sub that we're looking for, and we've got so many things going on. Also, the UFC, can you imagine Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk actually having a cage fight? And do you think they'll do it for real? And they raise a couple of $100 million for charity, I'll bet you, if they actually do it. And I think they're going to do it. And they're both trained in martial arts. So we'll see. I'm
telling you, it'll be a few moves of jiu-jitsu for Zuckerberg, and then Elon pulls out his death ray, and it's all over.
Some kind of magic jelly or something. Sees him in the eye, and there's going to be...
or like the Joker. Come on, shake hands. Let's be good sportsmen.
Anyway, is that Shatum? Is that...
Shatum.
On our actual Friday afternoon going home show. Hello, Shatum. How's it going? What's up?
It's Splatoon, but yeah.
Yeah, Splatoon.
Hey, couple of shows ago, you were talking about you might having a heart attack on your anniversary or something.
Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful.
And I was just wondering, this intern that you guys just interviewed, is he there to replace you just because you were talking about it?
It's very possible. I wouldn't think the way it's going. In fact, I think it's likely. Anyway, all right, I got to go. You're killing me. 5:05. All right, before we get forward to the podium, I mentioned poor Shane. I've been dragging this out for 3 weeks now. How long is this? Our second week?
Third week.
Is this our third week?
Is this our third week?
No, it's our second week.
It's the end of the second week. Yeah, end of the second week.
End of the second week.
Yeah, second week. Anyway, so Shane is a Mercer University student. He'd be a senior this fall. And I was mentioning some time ago that one of the fun exercises to do is to write your own obituary. And we used to do it in class and so forth. Shane said he did one of his own. Shane, now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shane with his own obituary, which he wrote as a college exercise.
Just to give some context, it was just supposed to be like a self-reflection thing, but I'll read it, okay?
All right, please do.
The family and friends of Shane are now mourning as he unexpectedly died in his sleep the night of August 22nd. Shane was an upbeat, brave, and unique son, friend, and mentor. He always tried his best to bring an uplifting spirit and sense of positivity wherever he roamed. For passing at such a young age, he has touched many hearts, whether it was coaching the football team, making people in sadness laugh, or leading peers with hope and passion. The young leader believed everyone had endless potential in life to be great at whatever they wished to be. He was known for being a friendly reminder to never let anyone be an outsider and to include all. Friends and family knew his ultimate goal was to one day be a phenomenal sports broadcaster and to one day broadcast the Super Bowl. Shane is survived by his mother, father, brother, girlfriend, now ex, and many friends that he had such strong love for. He believed in all his friends and family to have tremendous goals and to not stop until they are both happy and successful. At this time, we are mourning with the friends and family that Shane knew.
Wow, very nice.
I have a homework assignment. I think Flounder, me, and you should write obits for the other one. No.
Oh, for your own? For somebody else?
Somebody else.
Oh, no.
We should write each other's obits.
The snotty little son of a...
That loud mouth who never come to himself.
He never knew what he was up to. We couldn't control the bastard.
Seriously, we should write each other's obits. Or have the audience. Yeah, if somebody wants to write our obit, send it in. We'll read it.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Pete. So they can email my email address, which Kimmer has right in front of him.
Which is?
It's a series of numbers and letters in which you can connect somebody.
Knockout City.
You can just email Flounder at extra1063.com, and I will get those obituaries printed out for Pete and Kimmer to read.
Well, I see it now. Flounder at No, actually, I have
that's
the Rumble
the letter
thing.
X. XTRA. Because someone put an E on it earlier. No, it's
it's an X.
XTRA, and it's 1063, not 1063.
10, correct.
1063. Yeah. .com.
Okay.
And if you have an obit, we will read it on the air for any of the three of us.
Yeah. If you can write an obit for us, what you think should be said when we die. Oh, God.
And Matt Edgar friendly reminded me that this is the end of our 3rd week.
What?
Well, we started
Really?
June 5th.
All
All right, hold on a minute. What's the date? Today's the 23rd.
This is our 15th show.
All right, that's 3 weeks.
Holy cow.
Wow.
I can't believe it's been... Because we're already over the over.
Yeah.
I had us at what?
5? Yeah.
7
and
shows?
Kimmer survived the heart attack.
For 5 days.
Kimmer survived his heart attack. So
That's right. I lived.
I know.
Hard to believe.
You're still here.
All right, 509. We got some more of our comedian coming up. Let's go. Let's do some hard news stuff happen today. I'm really excited about this, and I hope I'm not alone. I'm going to quickly read the text that came out from WhatsApp with Hunter Biden talking, basically the smoking gun, talking about the collusion between the family and the communist Chinese. And then you're going to hear two sound bites. You're going to hear the guy from the State Department, Kirby, who just doesn't want to answer the issue of that Joe Biden obviously knew about it, and the same thing from the Podium Princess coming up second. Firstly, the very quick quote. I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why he's writing this to a guy named Zhao, the director of the Harvest Fund that helps Hunter, who's the communist Chinese official, okay? He's writing to the communist Chinese official. I'm sitting here with my father. We'd like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction. Hunter Biden to the communist Chinese guy who's part of his money string, with Daddy sitting there. Now, to the podium, John Kirby at the State Department. Sir, can you tell us about the proof now, the smoking gun, that Hunter and Joe were all in cahoots and they've been getting communist Chinese money? Please comment. Here you go, sir.
Does this not undermine the president's claim during the 2020 campaign and the reaffirmations of that claim by his 2 press secretaries since then, that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with him?
No, and I'm not going to comment further.
No.
James, let me save you some. Let me save you some breath. If you're going to ask about this, I am not addressing. I know you do more than I'd like you to have. I am not going to address this issue from this podium. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
That's wearing a dress at the podium.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, kiss my foot.
Everybody,
Adios.
try the veal.
Yeah. Don't forget with 6 you get egg roll.
Tip your weight, staff.
My God. They're just, obfuscation. It's just, we're not going to talk
They're in
about
power, and they're drunk with it, and they've gotten away with it since the 70s.
The good news is it got a little worse the second time when the Podium Princess, Rajin Fatin Tatin, she's gay, she's black, she's a girl, the little the curly locks, Surly Temple. When she got to the podium and they tried to, they say, we got the link, here's the link, can you comment, please? And here's how that went.
His son Hunter to the state dinner last night. I'm wondering if you could take us into the thinking and the decision-making of why the president decided to invite.
I'm just not going to get into family discussion, personal family discussion. As you know, Hunter is his son. I'm just not going to get into
it. It's the law. It's not personal.
If Hunter Biden wasn't the president's son, would he have invited someone who had just reached a plea agreement with federal prosecutors 2 days earlier?
A couple of things. Again, that's his son. He's a family member. It is not uncommon for family members to attend events at the White House. You could look at past presidents. I'm sure you have. So that is not uncommon. As it relates to anything related to Hunter, I'm just not going to respond to it from here.
Can I follow up on that?
No, I just called in somebody. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Kirby wouldn't answer James's question, though. Are you going to answer the question? It's not a reasonable question to ask whether the President of the United States was involved, as this message seems to suggest, in some sort of coercive conversation for business dealings by his son. Is that something, if he wasn't, then maybe you should tell us?
So here's the thing, and I appreciate the question. I believe my colleague at the White House Counsel has answered this question already, has dealt with this, has made it very clear. I just don't have anything to share outside of what my colleagues have shared.
They haven't shared anything.
So I would refer you to him and the DOJ.
Did not answer the
comment from here. What I can tell you is I know that my colleague has dealt with this.
No, he hasn't.
You're lying. This
no, he
at
hasn't.
the White House Counsel. I just don't have anything else to share. I just answered the question.
Yes or no, was the president involved in the shakedown attempt?
Stephen, I just answered the question. I just said,
Time out.
It's not up to you how I answer the question. I just answered the question by telling you my colleagues at the White House Counsel
pull this car over.
dealt with this, and I will refer you to them. Go ahead.
Run you right now.
Remind us
Take this belt off.
what your colleague said from the White House Counsel, so we have it.
I would refer you to them, and they will share their statement with all of you.
My question is about your statements from that podium. You stated that the president stands by his comment from the 2020 campaign that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with his son. And you stood at that podium and you reaffirmed that. Do you stand by your reaffirmation?
What I will say is nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And I will leave it there. Anything else, I will refer you to the White House Counsel.
It's not a change?
I just...
Anyway, that's the way it went. I'm exhilarated. I'm thinking, finally they're saying, no, wait a minute, you're not answering the questions, and this is a link. We're talking about corruption here. My God. All right, well, 5:14. Pete's Holy Crap coming up next, and your calls. We got the whole thing. Look, stand by. Me? Sorry. 5:16. Look, I'll stand by, Pete. Tomlinson is 44 today, retired San Diego Charger and New York Jet running back, mostly San Diego. 7th in history of NFL in rushing yards, 2nd in touchdowns and in rushing touchdowns, 3rd in total. And speaking of sports, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
I was just reading where Michael Soroka, who's down in Gwinnett, took a no-hitter into the 7th inning against Jacksonville.
Whoa.
So that's his best outing so far.
Outstanding.
So that would be great if we
boy,
can get
what a
him
story,
back.
because he's had, one thing after another, and he's such a fire. Oh, I'm excited. That's great
Good
news.
for him.
Great news.
The Braves put their 8-game winning streak up against the Reds' 11-game win streak tonight up in Cincinnati. You got rookie A.J. Smith-Shawver, his first start on the road. His big test there.
Good, yeah.
Bravos beat the Phillies 5-1 yesterday in 10. The big blow, a 2-run RBI single by Austin Riley that should have been ruled an error after left fielder Cal Schwarber had the baseball clank off his glove.
Oh, one in the air to left field. Coming in, Schwarber. He can't come up with it. He dropped it. 2 runs will score. 3-0 Atlanta.
Ben Ingram with the call there on 680 The Fan.
He says he just dropped it. I didn't see it, but
he dived when he really didn't have to dive forward, and it just went bunk off his glove and ended up behind him.
Actually, they gave him a break then by not calling it.
I don't.
Schwarber.
Well, he got Riley the 2 RBIs, which I'm sure he likes, but it was an error.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, he has the range of a Frigidaire.
I know. Yeah.
Cows have better fielding skills, and they don't have opposable thumbs. Anyway, earlier, Marcell Ozuna had homered and took his time to dance around the bases. He danced around second. He danced around third. Did a little tango with Ron Washington, much to the chagrin of the Snowflake Philly radio guys.
And the pitch to Ozuna. Swung on and blasted. Deep to left field. Forget about it. 2-run homer, Marcell Ozuna. And the Braves with a 5 spot. Ozuna with his 14th home run of the season.
What was that? They're going to stop in the middle of the third baseline and do
Ozuna
a hand
just now steps on a home
joke.
plate.
Ron Washington, that's just not professional. Stop in the middle of the third baseline so they can do a little hand dance.
Oh,
man, come on.
Come on. What a whiner.
You know how many baseball players do a thing with a third base coach? And is it Acuna who does the double skip on third? I mean, come
the
on.
Euro step or whatever he's doing over there.
Please.
I mean, come on. This is not 1973, Larry Anderson.
God,
wake up. The Hawks drafted Michigan point guard Kobe Buffkin, and we really got an NBA draftee.
We got Kobe, did we?
Yeah, we got Kobe. We have an NBA draftee old enough to be named after Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
He's been dead, 5 years now?
Yeah, wow.
It just doesn't seem right.
No.
The Babylon Bee reports trans community is feeling unsafe knowing there is a hockey player somewhere out there not wearing a Pride jersey. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says, we're going to stop doing these, wear stuff on the ice.
Was it Edmonton? Where was the last one to have? Vancouver, Edmonton, someplace. They tried to do a Pride night, and the hockey players wanted nothing to do with it.
Right, and he's saying it's not about Pride. It's about, we're going to stop making them wear jerseys on anything.
Well, there you go.
Please, whatever. The crew of the Ocean Races team Jajo endured several heart-stopping minutes on their approach to the Strait of Gibraltar yesterday. Their boat came under attack from a pod of
killer whales?
Orcas. You're absolutely right. Killer whales. Again, this has happened again.
They're going after boats all of a sudden.
That's right.
More than we have heard about before for some reason.
They circled the Dutch yacht before accelerating toward it, rammed it, and bit the rudders.
Oh my God.
The crew had to bang on the hull of the ship to drive them off. How about banging on their heads?
Yeah.
That would do it.
By the way, I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about, the orcas thing. Aren't they the ones who will go fishing by circling, getting into like a cove, and then they all circle, they go out and they start making a big circle like their teamwork, like 8 or 10 orcas, teamwork, and they force all the fish in that kind of a circle onto the shore, and then the orcas just go within like 1 foot of water, and they're sitting there. I've seen the video of them. They go almost half out of the water and half on the shore, just eating all the fish they forced onto the shore, onto the land.
But we don't know
It's unbelievable.
We don't see them because we only see them from the front, but they have legs.
Yeah.
They walk up on the shore and they put their Barbie down and they light it and they just...
Well, it's an incredible story.
Right
they
there.
have their own lighters. It's kind of a...
It's amazing. Jelmer Van Beek, who is the skipper of the boat, says it was a scary moment. 3 orcas came straight at us and started hitting the rudders. Impressive to see them. They're beautiful animals, but also dangerous for us as a team.
Yeah. You ever seen them like this at the SeaWorld? I saw them at SeaWorld.
I didn't like it.
Oh, I
didn't like it.
Well, I don't like the idea of it.
I don't like the idea of them being pinned up like that.
Yeah.
When reached for comment, Archibald Orca, the ringleader of the attack, said, attack the boat? I'm not attacking the boat. I'm trying to blank it. Heidi Orca said, we tried peaceful protest. They failed. Now you pay. Sam Orca said, we want to attack your planes, but those melon farmers are just too GD high. And Tony the Blowhole Cipriani said, I didn't do nothing. I didn't see nothing.
I wet my beak. Taste.
I just want to wet my beak.
There's a little taste,
Literally wet my beak.
Oh, mercy.
And there's sports.
I love it. Flounder, how about a little comedian bit? Yeah, can you find our buddy Drew Thomas? We have another cut, I think.
Sure can.
If you don't mind, we're just having... and while we do that, Shane, let me ask you a quick question while we're getting a comedy bite. I'm going to guess, you're probably, 21 or 2?
I'm 21, yes.
21. I'm going to guess that your parents named you after Alan Ladd in the movie.
No.
No, he's too young.
I get that all the time. I have a professor that says the same thing. He does the same thing you do. Shane.
Well, it's because I'm who I am. That was, 1958?
Have you ever seen the movie?
I have not. My dad's talked to me about it, though, because his middle name is Shane.
It's an old... Alan...
I like the Westerns. I watch Bonanza.
Well, there you are.
Good for you.
Well, yeah, you ought to, it'd be fun for you to watch, but it's a little kid, Shane. I mean, that's why
it's
we
kind
all
of
do
sad.
it.
Is that the movie that, the first ever shot of the cowboy riding off in the sunset is kind of based off of?
It's kind of one of the, absolutely. I mean, I think you'd enjoy just to see the difference in cinematography.
It's not as cool as flying a Spitfire Alpha to the sunset.
Well, no, it's not the same thing. Now, so Shane was just a name they liked, or?
It's my father's middle name.
And is it a family thing, I'm guessing, then, or do we know?
I don't really think it is.
I'll bet your father was named for Shane the movie.
I don't think so, because he's Greek. He's like 100% Greek, so I don't think they ever saw it.
All right, just checking. All right, well, anyway, just curious, thank you. And Flounder, a little something from our buddy Drew Thomas here a little bit.
But it's 2022. You can't offend anyone. You can't step on anybody's toes. If you meet somebody in Atlanta that's attractive, you have to say things like, how long have you been a woman? A legit question in Atlanta. Like, if you've been doing this for 10, 15 years, I might be okay with it. But if this is your first date, I don't want no parts of this. I could tell you just bought these heels. You really can't walk in them. You still saying things guys say, like race you to the car. Don't no women say race you to the car. But I practice what I preach. The older I get, I realize nobody wants to die alone. You have to be open-minded to dating people from different races, different religions, different age ranges. I used to date a Muslim girl. She came to me early in the relationship and said, would you consider becoming Muslim so we could get married? And I was like, no, I'm Christian. I just want one wife and a girlfriend. Who wants 4 wives? I was raised right, you know?
He's a funny guy. And I didn't know that was here in Atlanta.
Maybe we should get him. Get him for the show.
Let's get him. Hell yeah. That was very, very funny.
He is.
I'll check him out. He's on Twitter, so I'll check him out.
And that would be and again, well, hell, let's just say it. If you're a comedian and you think you could entertain us and make us laugh, we could put a comedian on this program on a Friday, goofing around. What the hell? Like at 3 o'clock for 5 minutes or something, we'll give you a shot.
It would be nice to add some laughs to the show.
Yeah. Now, of course, you'd have to, prove to us that you have done this, maybe, or no, maybe not. You're going to take a first chance trying to do stand-up comedy. First time ever on the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder show.
Have you guys ever done stand-up?
No.
I've thought about it, and I even have jokes. I have jokes ready, but I don't know if I would do that.
I had to do it when I first started interning at radio over with Rock 100. I went to the Laughing Skull in Midtown. It was sold out, and I had to do 5 minutes.
They made you do 5 minutes?
I had this bit called Bet You Can't, and what they would do, I had to go into odd situations and record it, and one of the things I had to do one time was do 5 minutes of stand-up.
Oh, well, we're going to hear the rest of this
laugh?
in a minute. No, we're going to come back with Flounder.
He's got to do his
stand-up routine in about 3 minutes. Coming up next, it's 5:30 on 106.3 Standing By. 5:35. It's only me. It's only the giver with Pete Davis, sidekick producer. You can't find him. Sports Raconteur.
Where's your wheel of what we're going to do today?
The wheel of what we're doing today. I've got it. Here it is. If you can see it, there's our actual wheel. We haven't done any of it. In fact, all right, Pete's Tweets is coming up in a second, and we also still have Skynet if we can still find his stuff. But first, Flounder. Now, what is this with your comedy routine you did? When did you do this again?
So when I first got into radio, I was interning with, do you remember Bailey and Southside?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I got my foot in the door on their show, and they ended up doing this bit with me called Bet You Can. I'd have to go into uncomfortable situations and record it. Like one time I went into a tanning salon and I had claustrophobia, so the lady had to sit in there with me and hold my hand while I got a tan. Just stupid stuff like that. And another one was I had to do 5 minutes of stand-up at this place called the Laughing Skull in Midtown. And when I went there, I never thought it was going to be that crowded or anything like that, but it was, I guess they call it amateur night where people can go there, and it was sold out.
Open mic night kind of
pretty much open mic night.
Let's hear some jokes.
Yeah, and?
All right, so all I did, I went online and went to a corny joke website and just printed them out.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put Big Fat for Flounder. All right, hey, here we go. Hey, how you doing? Welcome aboard a great crowd. And go ahead.
What do you call it when Batman skips church?
You call it I know this one. Hold on a minute. This is I know this one. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Those were kind of the responses I got, Pete.
So it wasn't a big hit?
I actually got some laughs. Okay. I think they were more laughing at the fact that I went up there with a sheet of paper.
With a sheet of paper reading it?
Yes.
Well, now, the reason I was going to say this because your personality is not the type of guy where you'd go, hey, how you doing? All right.
Stephen Wright
here tonight.
Stephen Wright.
More like Stephen Wright, where you stand there kind of calm and
which you're kind of seeing a lot more today in the kind of newer comics. Yeah. But again, I went up there and just... For me at the time, it was more of I have to get this done versus, this...
Yeah. I bought a house in the middle of the highway. It's okay, but I got to leave my driveway at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. They're classics. Total classics.
Oh, the best one. Walking up to the store, a sign says open 24/7. The guy's locking the door. I said, hey... He said, sign says open 24/7. He goes, not in a row.
Well, anyway, so that was kind of cool. Let's see where. Let's do. We got some tweet-a-roonies. Let's get some tweets, and we got more. So we got a lot packed in here in the next 20 minutes here, too. If we can only find. Here we go. Tweets. It's tweet time with Pete Davis. 5:38. 404-741-1230 is the number if you want to give us a buzz here. Anyway, tweeting there.
All right, we're doing tweets. All right, the fess hole, remember that? It's where you confess.
Confess, yes.
And you do it anonymously on Twitter.
Right.
And then people judge you for it.
Yep.
And maybe give you, absolve you.
Absolution.
So here's this guy said, I worked as a task rabbit in London. You know what a task rabbit is?
I don't think, a gopher?
No, if you need something,
do the errands.
You can't put together a piece of furniture or something. You call this guy and he comes, he fixes something. Yeah.
Okay.
Gopher.
I got you.
He's a task rabbit.
Yeah.
He says, bad pay, but lonely housewives were a bonus. If you hired me to assemble furniture in the Earl's Court area, I probably slept with your wife.
Oh wow.
And most people that wrote back to him called him scum.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were not happy with him.
I can see that.
I accidentally kidnapped my neighbor's cat. It snuck into the back of my van. When I stopped at a gas station on the highway later on, it popped out and legged its way across the parking lot and into the bushes. I wasn't going to chase it, so I fled the scene.
I noticed he abandoned the cat.
Abandoned the cat.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you go chasing the cat?
Yeah, absolutely.
But after a while,
you can't. If he's gone up and,
Would you confess to the people, I lost your cat? Or your cat lost itself.
If you didn't do anything on purpose, in other words, if you didn't know the cat was in there, they say next time take care of your cat. Don't leave the cat out.
Well, you should tell them so they can go look for the cat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think.
That's the right thing to do.
But it is a cat, so it's not like it's a dog.
I'm a cat.
Well, most dogs and cats have chips in it, so you'd be able to find it.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm worried about that, too. I broke my wife's prized ornamental figure, a Hummel, while vacuuming.
Very expensive piece.
I was trying to glue the pieces back together when she suddenly returned home. Our Labrador was so excited to see her, he knocked the pieces off the coffee table. So I blamed the dog.
Yeah, I would.
You would blame your poor dog?
Absolutely.
You know that dog's never going to trust you again.
Well, he's not going to know. I'd wait till he was out of the room.
Dogs
know.
know.
The dog did it, honey. I didn't,
Dogs know. Here's the best philosophy I ever heard about a former lover. Like you've broken up with somebody, or they've broken up with you, and you're laying there in bed.
Yeah.
I hope you get everything you've ever wanted, and I hope I never hear a thing about it.
My favorite is, I'm so miserable without you, it's almost like having you here.
It's almost like having you here. I like that. I was in Walmart, and there exists a family-sized box of Kit Kat cereal.
Kit Kat. I didn't know Kit Kat had it. That's candy bars.
Yeah.
Those crunchy, wafery, oh my God.
Yeah, candy-coated sugar bombs.
Sugar.
It's sugar bombs, like Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh my God.
Right next to that was another family-sized box labeled Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs.
Oh, Lordy.
Would you buy that?
No, I don't eat.
You love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Well, I do, but I don't eat.
You like Kit
candy cereal. I don't eat. Our family never had cereal. I don't remember ever just going for breakfast, getting a thing of bowl of cereal.
Raisin Bran with cut up strawberries.
Well, I know what it is, but honestly, my mother, and it's a family of 7. Even growing up with only 3 or 4 of us.
Easy breakfast.
Every morning we had eggs, scrambled eggs, soft boiled eggs, waffles, pancakes,
over easy eggs,
farina, oatmeal.
Farina. What the hell's that?
Farina. Oh, farina's delicious.
Farina's a little rascal.
No. Farina is cream of wheat.
Ugh.
It's cream. Oh, it's delicious with maple syrup and brown sugar.
I don't like maple syrup, but you're right. Who was the guy on the Quaker Oats?
Yeah.
That's good in the winter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Things you can say in math class and in bed.
Oh.
I have no idea what I'm doing. No, teacher, stop! You're going too fast.
Hey.
I'm almost done. Give me a harder problem.
Oh boy.
And is that a fraction of an inch?
That's what she said.
He's just glad to see me. And Young Americans for Liberty tweets, government says you must report any Venmo transaction to us. Also, the government says, we made a tiny accounting error and sent Ukraine an extra $6.2 billion.
Yeah.
To which Senator Rand Paul tweeted back, yeah, about that. I've joined a bipartisan group of senators for a clean audit of the Pentagon.
Yeah, but they said, well, since we realized we didn't spend the $6 billion we thought, now we can spend the extra $6 billion. No, that's not the point.
Well, like Zelensky said, he's already spent the next 3 oversights.
Well, there you are. See, it's unbelievable. Damn this thing. 543. Well, by the way, have you seen the video of the police car that was getting rammed by a guy over and over? A guy in his car backed up, rammed into the police car, backed up, rammed. He did it like 3 or 4 times, and finally the cop emptied about 14 clips of ammo into him. I guess killed him. Was it L.A. or It was L.A., I think.
That vicious police.
And the question, I saw it on a social media thing, and the question was, do you think the police officer waited enough time before he... Oh, my God. You look at the video. Google the video.
He told them 4 or 5 times, do not reach. Do not reach.
What are you supposed to do?
The family will sue.
I'll tell you, how in the world are you supposed to be a cop these days?
I wouldn't.
Honestly.
I'm glad my friends are retired. They've got out.
Oh, and in fact, the little town...
Most of them, one's still in.
Little village of Rica, 30 miles west of us in Atlanta. There was a firearm safety class for civilians, and they had photos of it on social media for the Rica Police Department. Unfortunately, they used the one shooting target image of a black guy wearing a skull cap and holding a gun and looking like a dangerous killing criminal. Black guy. Unfortunately, there are lots of different kinds of targets which they usually use, including white people, Asian people. But unfortunately, there was only the black target there. And the police chief said this was an innocent mistake. It wasn't a thing. No one's trying to tell, that. And all of a sudden, the social media people said, oh, they just wanted a black man because that's all they got. And the criminals are all black guys. And the cop said, and now the NAACPs are getting involved with this. People are launching investigations with the city council. on, come on.
They can save a little money. They get an Indian one. He's already got the dot
bullseye
right there, the bullseye right there on the forehead.
This wasn't a thing.
The cops are catching too much crap, right?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, yes, they are. They're catching too much crap. The police. The police never get to defend them.
Around the house. Friends drop in. A man with a badge answers the door. The temperature drops 20 degrees. You throw a party and a badge gets in the way. All of a sudden, there isn't a straight man in the crowd. Everybody's a comedian. Don't drink too much, somebody says, and the man with a badge will run you in. Or how's it going, Dick Tracy? How many jaywalkers did you pinch today? And then there's always the one who wants to know how many apples you stole. All at once, you lost your first name. You're a cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a dick, John Law, you're the buzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news. They call you everything.
Dick Tracy.
But never a policeman.
All right, that's it.
Maybe she's right.
Jack Webb. 5:45 already with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and Shane on 106.3. Here we go. Look out, here we go. 5:50, 10 before 6 with the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder and Shane. I don't know who this is.
This is the Kinks.
The Kinks? No kidding.
Sir, Ray Davis.
Ray Davis just had a birthday.
Yeah.
We mentioned that yesterday, I think, did we?
He looks his age.
Yeah,
he's kind of
getting
sad.
up there pretty good. Anyway, welcome aboard. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 1230. On this day in history, in 1868, a Wisconsin journalist and Senator Christopher Latham Scholes received a patent for a magical invention he called the typewriter. I'll be darned. Let's see. 25 years ago, 97, civil rights activist Betty Shabazz, the widow of Malcolm X, died in New York from burns suffered in a fire that was set by her 12-year-old grandson. Arson killed her.
Sad.
She was 61 years old. Malcolm Shabazz, the teenager, I believe he was 12, the 12-year-old got 18 months at a facility specializing in youth urban arsonists. They have a specialty for arsonists, young people arsonists. So he got, was he a gun shooting killer? No, they put him in the arsonist camp. Oh, okay. Was he like 10 to 12 years old? Yeah, because we have an arsonist camp for, 13 to 15. God, come on, what the hell?
He's on fire.
Yeah. He's a real flamer. I don't know. Anyway, a couple things. Oh, here's why you should vote. Votes do have consequences. Elections have meanings. In Congress now, you recall that President Stupid got passed or was passing a bill which would require people with good credit who had mortgages would have to pay higher mortgage rates in order to subsidize lower income people with bad credit who couldn't get passed by credit companies, and therefore you will subsidize them so they have a chance to enter the housing market. Yeah, here's how the liberals say, well, we got to give all these people a chance to have a home. If you're underrepresented, you have the right to have a home too. So what we're going to do, we pass a law. We're going to have rich people people with great credit are now going to be are going to have to subsidize people with bad credit who would not get a mortgage, but because the bad credit people are going to get on the average $2,000 a year. To help them, you're going to Pete and me and you are going to have to pay $2,000 extra so that they don't have to pay that $2,000 so they can get their mortgages. Well, the Congress is now barely Republican. They're trying to now kill that bill. And this is, again, they shouldn't have had to kill the bill. They shouldn't have had to kill anything like this because of the two Georgia senators and the fact that we can't get the job done in the Republican Party. But again, this is a great example. This costs you money. This is what the liberals are doing. You say, well, we got to make it fair for the poor people.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. If they deserved having good credit, they'd have good credit. Why should I have good credit and be punished for it to support somebody who doesn't?
And they tried this again in the 2000s to give people who can't afford a mortgage
That's how I lost all my money.
Yeah.
I had when I retired. Of course, the divorce was on my cash. The final thing.
So I brought it up.
But no. But seriously, man, I had two houses. A house for the thing and a house thing. My goal was to when I would sell those, according to what was going on with the thing, I'd have at least $1 million and a lot more to give to my kids, or they could keep the places for summer and winter places, do whatever they want. It was a whole nest egg of be over $1 million. Yeah, well, it's all gone. I got nothing. It went underwater because of the tranches. You know what those are? The mortgage companies, the banksters, the banking gangsters would go and say, well, let's put all these mortgages together. We know they can't afford them, so when they go under, we get a fee for getting the mortgages and then a fee for taking care of the mortgage. It was unbelievable. I lost all my money because of the mortgages.
Flounder's going, way to go, Pete, for getting started. But I'm sitting there thinking, this will kill the rest of the show.
Yeah, damn near.
I can leave now.
All right. By the way, let's see whether you think this is a dirty trick. What is it, 5:55? Okay, I'll go better. A former McDonald's chef, and apparently a well-known social media guy, says there's a way to tell if your local McDonald's is a good one. And he thinks this was a great idea, and it got maybe millions of results on social media, TikTok or whatever. The chef says, do this. Go into your local McDonald's at peak time, heavy lunch hour, heavy dinner rush, go in at peak time, and I need you to order 10 quarter pounders with cheese and add some changes to the burgers as well. He says a good McDonald's will produce a large amount of quarter pounders within their busy hours, including special orders. He said if you can get your complete order in under 5 minutes and all the ingredients or adjustments you request are accurate, you're at a good McDonald's. Wait a minute. He thinks it's a good idea for me to walk in and say I want 10 quarter pounders, but I want 2 with pickles and
They're
1 with ketchup.
on every one
You
of them.
got to be kidding me. And people say, oh, yeah, that'll show whether it's a good McDonald's. No, it won't. It'll show whether you got some vomit in your burger. I mean, you know what they would do to you for coming to think like that?
Oh, my God. I heard something dangerous today, that Bill Gates owns most of the land in Washington State that gets most of the potatoes for their fries, for McDonald's fries.
Well, I wonder why he did that.
Why is he buying up all the acreage in the farmland?
Must be a monopoly of some kind.
Or be able to put stuff in our food.
Well, again, I don't know what he's up to.
Healthy.
Well, but he's up to something. I mean, he's buying all that land. He's buying. I mean, and it's not just I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's up to.
He travels around the world like he's a health expert.
Yeah, that's right. Especially foreign countries. How to take care of the people in the continent of Africa and so forth. And I don't know, but I don't know what he's doing for us. What do you think about this story? San Francisco, the BART station, the mass transit station, 9 o'clock at night. A guy and his girlfriend or his wife are there, and another guy walks up to him, and apparently the other guy made a compliment to the man's girlfriend. So the man pulls out a gun and shoots him right there.
Okay. What if he'd insulted her? What would have happened?
Well, one misplaced kiss by some chick. I got rid of her. One is so-called innocent little peck. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. If a guy's all over your girlfriend or your wife, you got to, I'm just saying.
I'm not going to even follow that up with a question.
With anything.
I'm thinking you're having a stroke or something.
It's very possible.
Seizure of some sort.
I'll probably have one later. Yeah.
What the hell is he talking about, Father?
I don't know. I have no freaking idea. Did we ever do a Skynet thing? Is that worth doing? Do we have a thing?
Oh, yeah, Skynet. You want me to do
Skynet? And we never played it. We'll do Tucker next on Monday, too. We didn't play any Tucker stuff on politics. Here's
All
a
right,
little Skynet.
Little
Skynet.
All right. An NCAA athlete, a volleyball player.
Yeah.
What's her name here? It is Macy Petty.
Yeah.
Says when she tried to use ChatGPT and talk about the transgender athletes participating in her sport, ChatGPT basically lectured her and told her she needed to shorten what she had said about it.
The artificial intelligence is now lecturing the humans who put in the information.
Yeah, to stand up and saying, you want to shorten that because of this or that or whatever. And she goes, look, we know it's liberal, but they should at least come out and admit it. And some of them are. OpenAI CEO named Sam Altman says, we know ChatGPT has shortcomings. We're working to improvement. We're working to improve the default settings to be more neutral. Why didn't you do that to begin with?
Why would you have to reset them?
Right. Why weren't they neutral from the beginning?
Automatically.
They skewed them liberal.
We're doomed. I mean,
authorities are already fostering a hostile environment for female athletes to use their voice. We know we have to stand up to giants. I just didn't know AI was one of them, she says.
Holy moly.
You can't trust any of them.
I know. If you had to pick Zuckerberg or Elon Musk for the cage fight, Zuckerberg's like 5'8", Elon's 6'1", and yeah.
I would pick Elon. I like Elon. But I got a bad feeling Zuckerberg would win that.
I'll bet you Zuckerberg he's into Brazilian something or other, which is, I know a little Indonesian.
And he's an android.
I know a little Indonesian Salat, but that's,
Is that what you're calling her now?
That's what I'm calling her. Hey, Salat, come over here, baby. I think I mispronounced it. It's like when Nancy Pelosi was talking to the little white cat, and Nancy Pelosi says, I'm a Catholic, and the cat says, you misspelled alcoholic. Oh my God, we're on a herp and hope. I gotta go. You're killing me. Here we go.